Everybody, this is Kyle Wiley of the Kern High Network. We are going live on KernHighNetwork.com. It is Golden Valley, it is homecoming, and it is October, and the weather's getting a little cold tonight. With me is my colleague and longtime friend, Coach Rick Van Horn, BHS legend. I like saying that to you every single week, or every time I'm with you, calling you a BHS legend. He is an author. He does a lot for the community, but he is a football fanatic, and excited to have it here tonight. Tonight we got a big SYL matchup, and I say big because even though one team got on the snide and won, another team lost their opening round, but the other team can play spoiler really quick. Give me your thoughts real quick on this Independence Falcons team, Coach Van Horn.
Kyle, Independence is a very talented team. We didn't think they were going to be this talented at the start of the season, but they've really come on. 4-2 on the season. I think it's going to come down to that big game at the end with Ridgeview and Independence playing for the title. This league this year, Southwest Yosemite League, or excuse me, South Yosemite League.
Yeah.
I call it the mid-major.
Yeah,
absolutely. We've got the SEC with the bigger schools. We've got the mid-majors now.
Yeah.
And we've got the other league, but very competitive. East, West, Independence, Golden Valley, Ridgeview, Tehachapi. I mean, that's a gauntlet.
A lot of talent, and they, like you said, they kind of fly under the radar a little bit. Their expectations, they didn't come in as a heavy favorite, but they've wound up 4-2 right now. Talked to Coach Lucas Lucero today. They start up front. They're pretty big up front, and I was talking to Coach Kerry Mills at South High, who played them earlier and got blanked by Independence. He said Independence is bigger than what they look like on film, so that all starts up front, and Coach Lucero said he hangs his hat on his O-line and his D-line, and they get everything going right there as well. Give me your thoughts real quick on Golden Valley. We've covered them against Highland, and we covered them in the scrimmage to open off the Kern High Network's, football season and all that stuff.
Kyle, they're on a 3-game skid. So their whole season, comes down to tonight.
Yeah.
They can't go down 0-4 the last 4 games. They need this one more than Fat Man needs a cheeseburger.
Yeah, absolutely,
okay?
Yeah.
And so that's their whole goal, is to stop this skid, put the brakes on, get Carl Jones out in space, and let him do what he does. One of the best players in town, if not the best player. If you look at the stats, he's top 5 in rushing, top 5 in passing.
Yep.
Top 5 in interceptions, return yards, total yards, whatever it is. They got a category for. Carl Jones is in there.
You talked about those stats, just some for the listeners. Carl Jones, 617 pass yards with 6 passing touchdowns, 445 rushing yards with another 4 rushing touchdowns, and he's had 300-yard rushing games, 183 yards on kick returns. He's got a sack on defense. He's got 3 interceptions on defense. He's scored a punt on a punt return, and he's also had an interception taken to the house. Needless to say, Carl Jones is the dude that Golden Valley is going to focus on. They have some other guys in there. They also are going to give a lot to number 21, which is Donnie Bravo, who's the other option. He's got 367 yards rushing and another 116 yards receiving. They're also going to give it to Cedric Kim, who's also the senior, got a few touchdowns rushing. We talked about Tank a little bit, number 48.
I like Tank.
That is Roberto Enriquez. He plays nose tackle. He plays a little fullback. Talking with Coach Eric Smith this week, they've had to move Tank to that tight end so they can max protect Carl Jones. One of the things we saw against Highland earlier, where you and I called that broadcast, is Highland was swarming all over Carl Jones, and there are some times where we saw just the athlete Carl Jones and not the quarterback Carl Jones. So they're trying to max protect and help him out. You talk about, you love get one of your toughest guys on the line, get an extra blocker in there.
Yeah, they moved him to fullback in there to give him an extra blocker. But they actually gave him the ball that night.
Yeah.
And he was a handful.
Yeah, he's a load to get down right there. We're very excited. They already did the national anthem, and it looks like we're going to get started right here. So we're going to clear things up and get ready to go for this broadcast that we have tonight. We're very excited to have Golden Valley Independence. I want to take the time to recognize the administration at Golden Valley. That's Paul Hellman, who is the principal, Jerry Antoine, assistant principal of instruction, Erica Pierce, the assistant principal of administration, we have Valerie Black, who's the activities director in charge of this madness tonight for homecoming. And finally, we got to give a shout-out to Robert Haskell. Stressful week. He was calling me on the phone this week. Sound system not working. Scoreboard not working. 2 things back-to-back. Then Wednesday they got it fixed, and it's actually almost brand new right now. So we're very much excited about that. Dr. Debbie Thompson, who's the principal at Independence. Gracious that you guys come over here. Cy Silver, assistant principal of instruction. You got Kelly Harden, who's the assistant principal of administration. Derek LaRosa, the athletic director. Grant Bingham, the activities director, kind of rounds everything off. We are going to get started right now with a kickoff, and it looks like Independence will be returning it, and they have that dude, number 11, Ramon Henderson. You saw him earlier. Derek LaRosa, the athletic director, said he is one of the fastest guys last year. Just dynamic player. Victor Lopez with the kick. Ramon Henderson catches it about the 10-yard line, and right away showing off some of that speed. He finds a crease, and we're going to start this game off right now with a 90-yard kick return. Looking around for the laundry, don't see any, and you can almost guarantee that this is going to be a Kern High Network play. And what a way to start off for the Independence Falcons. Give me some thoughts on that opening for Ramon Henderson.
Well, I said it last week, and I'll say it this week. According to Mac Brown, former Texas coach, don't kick it to the fast guy.
Yeah.
Okay?
They kicked it right at him.
And they kicked it right to Ramon Henderson, who was our player of the week in week 1
yeah.
Against North High. And one guy you don't want, if you're Golden Valley, you don't want the ball in his hands. So what a way to start the game.
We haven't even got started yet, folks, and we have a 90-yard kick return, and it looks like Golden Valley's going to come up, try and go for 2. Zach Castellon, a quarterback underneath. And we're going to see what they do. Getting a formation. Castellon hands it off to number 40, runs it in, bangs it. Now up 8-0 with 12 seconds off the clock.
Well, what Coach Eric Smith's got to do and got to prevent is this game getting away too fast. Independence, a lot of weapons. You saw Ramon Henderson. He's just one of them. They got Braden Gordon, who's as fast as anybody in town. So Coach Smith's got to keep the spirits up for these guys on the sideline during the game. They've got to be able to move the ball to get some confidence, because they're at that point in the season. You've lost 3 in a row, and if this game starts getting away, people check out, and you don't want that.
Absolutely, and you talk about what a deflating thing, and how great for Coach Lucero, who's got all the momentum going his way. A few little hiccups along the way for Independence. We saw them play a Tulare Western team that's very, very good, and that they got handed to them pretty badly in that game. But they're also the favorites in Division II to win it all as well. Independence also lost a tight one to Arroyo Grande early in the season as well. So they played some talented teams. Arroyo Grande is near and dear to my heart. They were our rivals when I was in high school, and they had some tough teams. They always have some size and some talent. Nonetheless, Independence looking to kick off, and let's see if they kick it to their fastest guy this time. And it is a rocket, and the ball kind of squirts loose a little bit, and it's Simrel, the sophomore, number 2, winds up with the ball, and number 5, Luis Alvarez, in on the tackle. And it looks like the Golden Valley Bulldogs are going to pick up at the 30-yard line. Exciting start already if you just tuned in. Ramon Henderson, number 11 of the Independence Falcons, started off the game with a 90-yard kick return for a touchdown. And right away, Falcons up 8-0. Right here we have Carl Jones under center in the pistol formation. Has it back behind him, Donnie Bravo. Gets the snap. Little zone action right there to Donnie Bravo. And what a start right off of the miscue early on the kickoff touchdown for Independence. They come back with a 7-yard gain.
Good play by Golden Valley. First play of the game. You know, we talked about, and you mentioned it.
Yeah.
Golden Valley versus Highland. We didn't really get to see quarterback skills from Carl Jones. We just saw his athletic skills. So hopefully we can see some quarterback skills.
Absolutely. Carl Jones kind of with a speed option, gets to the outside, and he keeps it. There is a flag on the ground. and he pulls away. We're going to see what this flag is. He skips a little bit. A couple Golden Valley guys, including our guy Tank Enriquez that we talked about. We'll see what that is. Appears to be in the section of holding. Guys throwing their hands up wondering who it is, and it is going to be holding. Trying to see if it was on number 21 or number 48. And that nullifies. I mean, we saw this little kind of speed option, kind of fake one-way, come back around. And it's going to nullify any Golden Valley momentum. Inconsistency and penalties. We saw that last game against Highland when we broadcast that. What do you have to say about that, Coach Van Horn?
Well, that's the story of their season.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, you get a great play like that by Carl Jones, you shoot yourself in the foot, bring it back.
Yeah.
The one thing that does say, though, is we can get the edge, and, you know, at least for this first quarter, first series, we can move the ball.
And Independence has hung their hat on defense this year. And nonetheless, Carl Jones barking orders. Victor Jones back him up in the pistol formation. Once again, trying to give it off to Bravo to get to that edge. But it appears to be a 3-yard loss. Going to set up 3rd and 13. So you go from a potentially a 60-yard touchdown run to 3rd and 13. And Golden Valley's going to do the one thing they probably don't want to do is put Carl Jones in a position where he's got to be a quarterback at 3rd and long rather than short.
2 back-to-back negative plays is something they have to avoid against a good Independence team. Independence playing man coverage.
Almost challenging Jones to throw the ball deep. Very good. Here we go, 3rd and 13. Carl Jones takes a few steps back. He's looking to take a shot at Victor Lopez. And he had an opportunity, and I think that is one good play on the Independence defense, but Victor Lopez wants that ball back right there. Golden Valley brings out their punt team right here.
Now that's exactly what Golden Valley's got to do. 3-step drop, get rid of it, put the ball right on the money. DB made a good play there, knocking the ball out of Victor Lopez's hands, who had a step on him.
Absolutely. And if you're Carl Jones right here as he walks off, he's got to keep his confidence as a leader. 2 opportunities for 2 big plays, dropped by a receiver, potentially a hold by one of his teammates, and they get nothing out of it. The punt is off, and it looks like number 8, that is Sergio Barrett, or actually number 9, David Hernandez, is going to be getting away from that. Exciting games going around here. Our other Kern High Network game of the week. Garces shocking the Drillers last week. All of a sudden they're move up, and you know, I was reading the paper this morning, the B varsity top 25 with 1 win, but that 1 win over the Drillers, they become in that 24 slot. BHS still looking for that identity we've talked about, but we have Garces at Centennial. Been a surprise. We'll see with Centennial how they respond. At quarterback right now, we have number 10, Zach Castellon, barking out orders. And that's significant. Number 4, Duluth with the carry, and he is fast, ladies and gentlemen. He gets around to the edge, high tackle around there.
That's what we're talking about. Independence having playmakers, and he's probably their 3rd playmaker. You've got Henderson, you've got Gordon, and now you bring in number 4. So they've got they're about 4 or 5 players deep in that playmaker category.
So it's first down for the Independence Falcons. We get up here. Castellon in that pistol formation. Duluth offset to the wing. And it's going to be a handoff to number 40. That is Wyrick. Gets about, just a few yards right there and sets up a 2nd and long. Talked to Coach Lucero before the game. He says he's going to be doing a lot of different things. We've seen Sergio Borelli, who was a Kern High Network Player of the Week. We've seen him at quarterback, but you have Zach Castellon to start the game off right now. They're going to hang their hat on the O-line. They're going to try a different thing. Doesn't mean that Borelli won't be in there, but it's Castellon's turn tonight. Pointing out, going to find under the pistol, give it right back to Wyrick, and it appears to be a 1-yard loss, setting up 3rd and long. So now, probably in this 3rd and long situation, they're going to have to pass the ball a little bit, and that's one thing that we haven't seen Independence do a whole lot of.
No, but when they do, we saw that against North High.
Yeah.
You know, they've got Henderson who they can just, throw the jump ball out to, and he's mossed a couple guys already this year.
And here goes Castellon trying to make a pass over the top, trying to look for the flag. Penalty marker is on the field. They're going to see if it's going to be a pass interference, and if not, that can move them back just a little bit.
It's going to be pass interference on 28, the right corner for Golden Valley.
Pass interference.
Came in just a little early. Just a little early. So I think it depends if they're going to accept this. This is going to actually give them an automatic first down, so they'll be 1st and 10 from the 19. So they're inside the red zone already with a 8-point lead.
That is a crucial play, and that talk about the mistakes we've talked about all the time with Golden Valley is those crucial third down penalties you talk about. Castellon with a little slip screen out to Ramon Henderson to try to get the ball in his hand as quickly as he can. And nonetheless, it's back with Independence.
Complete. 2nd down.
Depth may be a problem for Golden Valley. Not a whole lot of guys. They have 29 listed on the roster, but
yeah,
probably 25 suited up. So as the game goes on, depth may become a problem.
And with the hard count, Castellon looks like they're able to pull Golden Valley offsides.
Offsides on the Bulldogs.
And once again, Golden Valley at costly times seem to shoot themselves in the foot. They have talent. They have guys that can make plays happen, but it's these little disciplined plays at costly times are critical. What do you do as a coach to work on those little costly mistakes, those mental mistakes?
Well, it's easy to sit up here and
speculate. Outsider looking in, yeah. Castellon back, finds Henderson across the middle, and it appears to be a Falcon touchdown just like that.
Complete to number 11, Ramon Henderson. Touchdown, Falcons.
That's Golden Valley can't hang their head. Henderson's done that to a lot of people this year already. Quick slant. He's 6'2", he's 6'3". Not much you can do. Pretty good position by Golden Valley defender, but when the ball's on the money and you get a 6'3" receiver, a lot of times the receiver's going to win.
And Henderson already with 2 touchdowns for the Independence Falcons, and just like that, it's 14-0 as the 2-point conversion fails.
Is no good. Falcons 14, Bulldogs 0.
Coach Lucero might be sending out a message, going for 2 on his first 2 scores here already. So
we have another shout out.
I don't know if there was any bad blood between these two, but
do whatever it takes to conquer your goals. We love you, from Amanda and Jasmine.
A little unusual.
Make sure you visit the varsity baseball booth. They're selling pozole for $4. Please support our varsity baseball.
7:39 left in the first quarter,
Make sure to visit the Booster Club
and
table. They're selling breast cancer
we
awareness
just hope
shirts
that this
for
is
$15.
not a deflating
Also have
thing
TV
for the
shirts
Golden
$15.
Valley Bulldogs as they
Fire
try
raffle tickets for 2, and chance raffle tickets, $1 each.
find
Or
something
our
else. We're
link
getting
for
light
tickets.
up here, a little
They will
dark on
roll
the
at the
top of the
varsity
Golden
halftime.
Valley press box, so we appreciate our main man bringing us some light to help us out tonight so that we can see. Coach Van Horn is getting up there in age, and so we got to make sure that his eyes – I just found out that I was blind in my left eye, so I also need it too.
No.
So definitely helps out.
Well, I'll bet
I've
you.
lost
I'll
my
bet
hair,
you,
and now I'm blind.
I'll
Coach
bet
Van
you a
Horn.
Golden Valley hot dog. They don't kick it to Carl Jones.
Oh, and they kind of do a little pooch. I don't know if it was intentional, but number 30, Alvaro Bailon, lands on the ball. It actually gives good field position. I'm going to tell you right here is if Golden Valley could capitalize on this right here, this could be a brand new thing. And my main man got us the light. Appreciate that. Golden Valley does it right up here. Appreciate that light. I'm going to have to tell Principal Hellman about the good work that these guys do up here. I can see. Thank you, sir. So here we are on the 47-yard line. Carl Jones, official timeout right now. And we hope this isn't a track meet, but I can tell you right here, if Carl Jones can get a touchdown right here, prevent this from being a 3-possession game and keep a 1-possession game, Golden Valley has all the talent in the world to keep this game close going on right now.
Well, you like to think so. So we'll see. This is great field position.
Yeah. And there goes Carl Jones as he rolls out to the left. He's going to take a shot. Has a few guys wide open. You had Simrol running. You had Victor Lopez trying to go against the grain. That kind of shows maybe his inexperience at quarterback. Rolling out to his left, that's a tough throw. He's really got to get that depth and get his shoulders coming downhill.
He did, but he did have Simrol wide open.
Yeah.
You know, in that 7 route. Little flag route there. He just couldn't get his shoulders turned in time. He did get pressure, and they did do a good job, Independence did, of setting that corner and making him pull up.
Absolutely. So here we go, 2nd down and 10. Simrol offset wing right there. Carl Jones in the pistol formation with Bravo behind. And it seems like they're trying to find something with that speed option look right there. Maybe they're doing some film trying to get to the edge. I think that Golden Valley is going to try and take those chances going deep, but it appears to be offsides on the Independence Falcons. And I think right now Golden Valley is going to take whatever they can get them, get some positive yards without a penalty getting in their way.
Sure, they're going to need it. Like I said, they got to stop the bleeding now. It's 14-0 early in the first quarter. We've got about 7.5 minutes left still, and Independence has got the foot on the gas, and they went for 2 points twice, and they onside kicked.
Carl Jones takes it, hands it off to Donnie Bravo, and Donnie Bravo, here we go, ladies and gentlemen, the 2nd leading rusher for the Golden Valley Bulldogs, is able to get a long run for them as well.
Well, we've seen Golden Valley moved already in their 2nd possession. You know, Bravo had a good run that first series. Jones had the 50-yard touchdown called back, and now we see a good 30-yard gain by Simrol again.
Sets up 1st down for the Golden Valley Bulldogs. And Carl Jones keeps it in that kind of speed option look, and he is a dude that can slip through little spaces. Gets an 8-yard run, but the ball is on the ground. The back judge is kind of looking right there, and they are going to call it.
I don't know about that.
That was a late call right there that they may have to discuss a little bit, but they're actually going to.
Wow.
The white hat signals to Independence, and that is the last thing that Independence wants to do is, the last thing Golden Valley wants to do is give up the ball as they were moving.
That was a very late fumble. So what happens when you get a late fumble, usually the player's down and the ball comes out. So the referees didn't even discuss it between themselves. I don't know.
Zach Castellon now under center on the 20-yard line for the Independence Falcons. Hands it off to Wyrick, number 40. He's got some tough yards that he's running, and that is 9 yards, just short of the 1st down. But you're right. When there is a late call on that means maybe a little bit of uncertainty on the officials. Fortunately, there is no replay in high school athletics. I think we may move towards that with the amount of stuff people use with the huddle and all that stuff too as well. Right. I think the officials need to take a look at some of that stuff, but nonetheless, it is high school and we don't have replay specialists. Here we go, 2nd and short. Usually this is a good time to maybe take a shot, but Castellon gets under center in the pistol, and he turns around and hands it off to his fast back, and that's number 4, Duluth. Takes it around the edge, a late flag coming in. Curious to see what that is. That's from the back judge of the defense. And we're trying to wait to see what's being called. Golden Valley kind of hanging their heads a little bit. A personal foul, face mask, and that is 15 yards against the Bulldogs. And one thing that we've talked about is these penalties that have just plagued them in their drives and their just miscues, little mental mistakes that go on there.
Yeah, and when it rains, it pours sometimes. And the season going back to We talked about what Golden Valley can do. You know, we're not at practice. We don't know these kids. We're not around campus, so it's very tough to see what these guys are going through. Coach Smith is going through, so
they
really don't know.
Great support at Golden Valley. Castellon with a little play action, trying to go over the top. Decent little route right there, and they let him play. There's nothing right there. Pass is incomplete. Coach Lucero's over there talking with his quarterback, Castellon, about how, hey, he needs to step up and throw and not fade off that back foot and let it just float over the top.
That play right there, even though it was an incomplete pass, that play may get Carl Jones to the Pac-10.
Yeah.
Okay, because if you saw that, his makeup speed, even though it wasn't his guy, but his makeup speed to cover that guy is what is going to make people take notice.
Castellon in the pistol, going right now, hands it off to Wyrick to try to get some yards back. Going to probably set up 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9 on just a little short run right here. Independence started off hot to start the game off with a 90-yard kick return by
Ramon Henderson.
And Ramon Henderson also has a touchdown reception this game. Early, way too early. Tony Pete's his player of the game right here, Ramon Henderson. He's just been that dynamic.
So you're
athletic director. Well, I'm going to tell you this. Athletic director Derek LaRosa said as a freshman, Ramon Henderson was the fastest kid in school. Little screen out here, and it is read perfectly, and that is number 6. Donovan Valdivinos. He's played a tough game, and that's the momentum that they need. They tried to get it Duluth on that little bubble screen on the outside, but Golden Valley sniffed it out real quick.
Valdivinos is listed only as a sophomore, so I remember him against North making some plays, and now he's going to be the punt returner along with
I will say this
Bravo.
I will say this about Golden Valley. Their motto here on this campus is Bulldog Strong, and this is one thing that they can get is Bulldog Strong right here. And it's going to look like it's Bravo that's going to come up, and he kind of slips down at about the 35-yard line, and that's where they'll pick up right here. I'd like to thank our sponsors, the U.S. Army, and I see their tent out there. They may have a push-up contest at halftime during all of this. Kern Schools Federal Credit Union, another generous financial donor. And then we also have Pav Solar and Lighting. We have Tony's Pizza, Raymond's Trophies. They've been with us from the very beginning, so appreciate all the support that they have. Golden Valley starts off, and actually they're going to give them to the 36-yard line that they have right here. And it's going to be Carl Jones in the pistol coming out, looking at his wristband. It looks like they are a wristband team where they're going to get their plays. They get in there. Ball is on the ground, and Carl Jones picks it up. And this is one of those things, you talk about those makeup plays right there that goes from possibly being a busted play to getting some yardage.
Yeah, there you go. You said it earlier.
Yeah.
You become an athlete, not a quarterback. And it's just, when you've lost 3 in a row, first thing you want to do is get the ball in your best athlete's hands.
Absolutely.
And they do that every play, getting the ball to Carl as quarterback.
I'll say this, there were times at Highland where he did look like a quarterback. He delivered some great balls in the third quarter, I remember. But nonetheless, here's Carl Jones in the pistol, hands it off to Bravo right here, and he's immediately brought down by a host of Falcons, primarily leading the way is number 10, Jaden Irvin. Brings him down. He's going to set up 3rd and about 4. And we can see if Carl Jones can get something going for these Golden Valley Bulldogs, and you can tell they rely on him a lot.
I tell you what, Alec De La Rosa laid a lick on Bravo that time.
Absolutely.
I saw that head jerk back, and that may make hometown sports this week.
All right, here we go. Carl Jones back in the pistol. Seems to be their forte this year. Have a wing off to the left. That's Simrel. And immediately met in the backfield. That's number 65, the hoop star, Lance Henderson, gets back in there. And Lance Henderson is kind of a dude that's been on the radar, super athletic, light on his feet, good with his hands, kind of what we see with him in basketball that we covered him last year, but he's a good athlete. good genes, right? He's from that Milt Henderson clan.
Oh, is
of
he?
all of them. Yeah, he's Milt Henderson's grandson, the long-time East High Blade right there.
Well, I understand Milt's got another one at Bakersfield Christian, too, as a basketball player.
Victor Lopez with the punt, and he gets hit right there, and the flag comes out. Is this going to be a penalty on Independence? He kind of took a half flop. Is it running into the kicker? Is it a personal foul? It appears to be running into the kicker. That's going to be only a 5-yard penalty, and we'll see what Golden Valley decides to do. And they're probably going to see where the ball is going to line up. Now, as a coach right here, and it's 4th and short, what do you do, especially a team that's been on the ropes? Do you conservatively kick the punt again, and you're already down 14-0, or do you take a chance right here, Coach?
Well, you're going to be about 4th and 1 here, so, hey, you've got nothing to lose and everything to gain. So giving them the ball at the 45, you're going to lose maybe 20, 25 yards on the punt. Why not go for it?
And I like this call by Coach Smith. He's going to take a timeout, get your best play, your best 4th and short, your best 3rd and short play that gets on there. You're going to see. You said it earlier. You got one of the best athletes in town, if not the best athlete in town on there. And I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, we watched Carl Jones now 3 times. He could start on any team in town out of position. He's that dynamic of an athlete. Very, very interesting year this year, Coach Van Horn. I mean, there's no team in Bakersfield that's really separated themselves. It's just kind of interesting to look at. We see Liberty took down Frontier last week. We see Garces shock the world and beat BHS last week. Ridgeview beating Golden Valley last week. Tehachapi, Independence beating Tehachapi by just 1 point. Just a lot of interesting parity this year. No team really separating themselves.
Well, we talked about that. A lot of parity in that Southwest League.
Yeah.
With this, I think Liberty is the team to beat in town in that Southwest Yosemite League.
Could it be Independence here?
It could be Ridgeview or Independence, East or West. So
Carl Jones gets the ball into center, and he does his little speed option. He's just trying to find a yard, and he's reaching out.
I don't think he got it.
And you know what? The Liberty, the official on the near side is on one area, and they're going to hand it to him. And it appears to be short, but I think they're going to have to get a measurement on this, and that's exactly what the white hat does. As our near official and the far official were kind of different in their location of this, but I can't really get a gauge on where that chain ends up over there. A little uncertainty, and that's the one thing. He was trying to make a play happen right there, but it seemed like the last few yards he didn't really give that full head of steam like we've seen him in the past. This is a critical play for Golden Valley as they keep this going, and it appears that they are just short, and it is a first down for the Falcons.
First down, Falcons.
But I'm with you, Coach Van Horn. Even though they didn't get the first down, I'm still going to take my chance with that.
Sure.
Having the best guy right there. I don't blame that call at all, one bit. Castellon then takes over for the Falcons at quarterback. He gets under the pistol formation. He's got Duluth out to the left, and he's in motion now. Ball now is handed off. That appears to be number 30, Dinweed. Number 30, Dinweed, and he split time with Wyrick at that kind of tailback right there. Going to be second and 8.
You know, we're almost through the first quarter, and I haven't seen Braden touch the ball.
Yeah.
And much like that North High game, the very first game, we hear about this guy. He's their preseason guy.
Yeah.
And didn't touch the ball till late in the second quarter in that game. So I don't know if I get a guy that runs a 4-3, he's touching the ball pretty early.
Castellon takes the pistol, drops back, tries to hit that out route, and look at that closing speed on the sophomore Simrel. And it's going to be complete right there, but there is a perfect throw. It had to be right there, and I thought that was on the ground. That's almost pick 6 if he reads it a step sooner.
That's why they call it a game of inches, and we just talked about Braden, and here he is making the catch. I would have.
Especially that out route from the left hash to the far hash. I mean, that's a long throw for a young quarterback to make.
Yes. especially when you get a kid that can run like Braden. He separates very fast. So
3rd and 4, Castellon in the pistol again, going with the hard count, doesn't move anyone. Hands it off to number 30, and see that outside zone right there to Dinweed, and he's able to pick up an Independence Falcons first down.
First down, Falcons.
Give him a little healthy dose of some, mixing in some of these motions, and then that's that outside zone stretch play that they have right there. That was wide open right there. They're kind of finding those holes that they have.
Golden Valley didn't do a good job of setting that edge and turning him back into pursuit.
Golden Valley looking for that stop right now, maybe looking for a turnover. Let's see if Carl Jones can get involved with that and maybe get something going for the Bulldogs. Castellon gets in the pistol formation again, rolling out to a little bit to his left, makes a nice strike right over there. That's number 4, Duluth. And that's a big play. Castellon doing some good things, positive things for the Falcons.
Complete to number 4, Malik Duluth.
And we talked about it earlier. Falcons. Independence has some playmakers. We've seen Duluth, we've seen Henderson, and we've seen Gordon. So they've got some guys that can take it to the house.
And talk about a confidence boost right here. Is Castellon's kind of been sparingly at the quarterback. He runs into Dinwiddie right here. Looks to be a yard or 2 gain, and that's going to take it to the quarter, and we're going to get into the second quarter. But talk about Castellon, beginning of the season, you're in a quarterback competition, and we've seen Borelli out there, and we've seen Castellon out there. As a quarterback, they tell you to be ready at any time, especially when you don't have a clear-cut starter, and that sometimes could be frustrating, but he's had a pretty good game tonight.
Yeah, they both are very adequate quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. None are great.
Yeah.
It looks like they both manage the game well and, get the team up there. Not a whole lot of mistakes with cadence and offsides and all that. Get the ball to the right guy. And so they're doing just what they need to do for this offense. They've got playmakers. They don't have to make plays. Just get the ball to the guys that can make the play.
And I can tell Castellon, when he gets up to the line of scrimmage, he's making some reads and some calls, and we see him pointing at both sides, maybe identifying. They usually identify that middle linebacker to kind of see where he is and see what reads we're going to have off that. But he doesn't turn the ball over. He kind of gets in there, has had a few hard counts in there to really get him off sides. Mm-hmm. But here, when they're back up against the wall, Golden Valley's got to make a stop.
Well, it's 3rd and about 9 here, so take a look and keep an eye on Henderson here, down here. They like to go to him in the red zone.
And then probably do some slants, and they're going to maybe take advantage. Remember, Simrel, and I know our records say he's a junior, but, hey, he is a sophomore. The ball is up in the air. A flag is out there. It is incomplete. It appears to be pass interference, and they are going to take trying to go to Henderson right up at the top, take advantage of the corner out there, inexperienced corner. That looks like it's Adrian Hodges out there.
We told you, take a look. They like to go to Henderson down here in the red zone. Castellon would have got the ball up a little higher.
Half the distance to the goal.
It would have been a little better.
Yeah.
But a PI is just as good as the completion.
But sometimes as a quarterback, as a former quarterbacks coach, you know that. Just give him a chance, and I think he did a good job giving him a chance. Nonetheless, Castellon is under center this time. Turn around, going to hand the ball off to Duluth as kind of the tailback right here. Castellon hustling over to Coach Lucero to get the play. Sets up about 3rd and we'll call it 4.
Number 4, Malik Duluth with the carry. Tackle by number 14.
Coach Lucero asking the side official how many yards are out there. It appears to be about maybe 3.
Maybe a long 3 here, 3rd and long 3. They can still get a first down on the 1-yard line.
Here comes Henderson to the near side. Coach Van Horn talks about, hey, you got to watch him, see what he does. Castellon gets under center, hands the ball straight up. It appears to be Wyrick, and it's right at that first down marker, maybe 1st and goal. We're going to wait just a sec, see what that says right here.
With the carry.
And what do they call it? They call it 4th down. And I think this is no-brainer. I think if you're Independence, you go right for it to try to get 6.
You go right for the jugular. The way they've been playing, going for 2 on 2 extra points and an onside kick, sure.
Powerhouse backfield right here. Castellon under center, and they're going to go QB sneak. And it looks like it could be. We're waiting for the official to say something. And the officials throw up 2 hands. And it's Castellon with the QB sneak.
Looked like they went on a quick count, caught Golden Valley off balance. Talking about Castellon being a good game manager, and that was pretty good. Went on a quick count that time. Golden Valley wasn't really set and goes in for the touchdown.
Absolutely. And just like that, it's 20-0. And is Coach Lucero, he may not have.
Are you talking about his kicker?
He may not have a kicker. He may just have.
And get out there and do your thing from Grandpa Thomas. Congratulations, Mariah. We love you.
And it looks like the Independence Falcon player that was down. You know, Coach Lucero, I've seen this in high school football, and you've seen this in high school football. Sometimes it's not them trying to put salt on the wound. It's just they may not have a kicker that's adequate enough to get out there. You know, when I see like Henderson and Duluth and those guys coming back out onto the field, and I see Castellon out there, maybe maybe it is one thing. Hopefully it's not bad blood, but, nonetheless, it's 20-0 right now, Independence. And we still have 10:38 left in the second quarter. It's kind of unexpected, and it could have been 7-7, but there was a holding call early. Carl Jones gets a 70-yard, 60-yard touchdown call back.
Watch out for the bootleg here. Nope, they're going to give it to 4.
Going to give it to Duluth.
Number 4, Malik Duluth with the carry. Conversion is good.
And Duluth gets the conversion, and it is right now 22-0.
We have a few more shout-outs. You look good, baby. I love you, Ruby. From Abby Rodriguez.
Well, we talked about Coach Smith. Stop the bleeding. Keeping these guys up on the sideline and in the game. If you look at, if you read body language at all, it's not looking good for Golden Valley. You've seen a lot of guys walk around.
But I'm a firm believer in something. And maybe as a coach, you may have had something similar. But when I was coaching, my goal was to get 4-possession game, because 3-possession game is still very attainable. And even right now, as we look at this, when it gets to four possessions, the stats have shown and that it's almost impossible. So you have the UCLA Texas A&M, that's the anomaly that goes in there. You have the Oilers way back in the day against the Bills, that's the anomaly that come on there. But you can still win this game at a 3-possession game. It's a little more difficult, but one big play right here, if they kick it to Carl Jones or something like that, and they're going to try and keep it away, and they bounce over the top. Actually, Carl Jones picks it up. He can still make plays even right here as well, and he's dancing around, finding those little spaces right here, but the Falcons do a good enough job to corral him, and it looks like it's going to be on the 27-yard line for Golden Valley. Still a lot of football left, tons of football left.
There is.
First down, Bulldogs.
And Golden Valley has the talent. I think we can agree on that, right, Coach Van Horn?
They've got some guys that can put it in the end zone and take it to the house, and starting with Carl.
Carl Jones, very much an athlete that can do some things in a wide variety of ways, and Coach Smith has got to be feeling some frustration, but he is a coach, and he gets back to the drawing board, tries to do those things. Carl Jones in the pistol formation with Bravo behind him, and you got number 6 and number 7, Valdivinos and Lopez down here in the near side in a twins formation. There goes Carl Jones dropping back, finding some space, trying to get rid of the ball, but all over him appears to be number 54, Devin Zinn.
Number 3, Carl Jones, sack for a loss.
And that is a loss that they don't want to go backwards. They want to go forwards, and they're trying to make him into a quarterback on first down. I actually don't mind that play call on a first down to try and pass the ball. They may be loading the box a little bit usually when they start off first down trying to run.
Yeah, they're getting man coverage down here on Bravo and Lopez.
Yeah.
And
that's actually Valdivinos and Lopez.
Lopez. And if you give, one step, three step stuff, quick stuff to Jones, he can get it done.
And it's the underneath handoff to Simrel, and that is a great little play, great little counter play to Simrel. Actually, don't mind that right there.
He was one hand away from taking that to the house. An Independence player got a hand on his jersey, kind of grabbed him, slowed him down off stride. And if it wasn't for that, I think he was going to the house.
And we see that Simrel does have that speed at just a sophomore. First down for Golden Valley. They're looking for any type of momentum that they can get to keep this thing going. And lining up 2 by 2, Victor Lopez down here. I'd like to see him take another shot at that, and it's a sprint out to the left and throwing off to his left. I get what they're trying to do is get him out in these sprint out type of things. But what I would like to see maybe one time is kind of a half sprint out where he can set his feet up, deliver a good ball. He's got the arm strength in there, but nonetheless, it turns into second and long.
Yeah, he's on a play like that, kind of a sprint pass. You've seen that. 49ers used to run that for days with Jerry Rice, a little 2-yard out. But you can't have a play action. He's got to attack the corner right away.
Yeah.
You can't 360 that and then expect to get the corner.
Got to get that head turned around. Carl Jones, 2nd and 10, takes it back underneath the Simrel, and this time the the Falcons snuff it out with a host of players from Luis Alvarez, number 5, to number 81. Don't have a number on him yet, but the Independence Falcons snuffed that out really quick. In on that play as well as 65, Lance Henderson, who's had a big game for the Independence Falcons. 3rd and long, the one thing that a coach does not want to have, especially if you're trying to find some momentum going on. We'll see what the Golden Valley Bulldogs have in mind. We've all been here before, trying to find that momentum, trying to find a spark. Independence Falcons come out in this cover 0. And here comes Carl Jones dropping back, trying to deliver a good ball. And once again, his athleticism comes out. He needs to step up in that pocket, deliver a good ball. What do you do right here in a situation, Coach, where you're trying to find momentum?
Well, we saw him a little against Highland, and they were more under the center, more trying to go to the more traditional flex bone. Now they've gone to the kind of the pistol where the tailback sits behind the quarterback, 2 yards. You may see by the end of the season that Golden Valley is going to go to a straight Wildcat a la 2006 West High with Ryan Matthews, where
Lopez with the punt to Duluth right here. And Duluth doing a little wiggling right here, and nonetheless he kind of gets out there, but eventually is brought down by number 64, number 14 with Golden Valley Bulldogs. Continue on with your thoughts on seeing a little bit of more Ryan Matthews-esque type of play take place.
You may see him, but before the end of the year, that Coach Smith is going to put him back there, maybe put 48 the tight end, big tank.
Yeah.
Put him as single back as a lead blocker. Spread the field, get some defenders out of the box, and have Carl Jones, your best player,
make some plays
with a lead blocker like Tank there.
Yeah.
Maybe your best option.
First down, Castellon back under the pistol formation right here. Grabs the ball, hands it off. It appears to be Wyrick again, but a big, nice play. And that is number 55, Juan Sanchez. And Juan Sanchez, looking at his data, looking at his stats, Coach says he has 70 tackles this year, and we've called him in both games. He's got a lot of tackles. This kid is around the ball. He is a ball hawk at that linebacker position.
Well, that could very well be. You know, we talked about it, kind of thought early on, hey, that's a lot of tackles. But this far in the season, Golden Valley's played a lot of defense.
Yeah, absolutely.
They've been on the field quite a bit. So
tough linebacker right there. 2nd and 9 for Independence. Castellon back under center. 2 receivers to the near side. Going to see if he maybe takes a chance. A little play action fake, and he's taking a shot, but he appears to be hit as he's thrown. Good pressure put on them, and that is number 65, Ishmael Mendoza-Diaz, with some good pressure on him. It's a good little defensive series. This is what Golden Valley needs. If they can hit Castellon, the ball pops up in the air, get a turnover, do something.
I'll tell you what, it doesn't show on the stat book or anything, but Golden Valley did a good job on combination coverage there.
Yeah.
Jones was on the slot. His man did an out. Number 1 receiver is doing a slant. They pass it off. They call it combo coverage, and that kind of stuff is great for the
Timeout, Falcons.
Coach Lucero calls a timeout right here, and you're right. It's in these games where it's out, where the game's getting a little bit out of hand. You want to find those highlights and those positives that get in here, and maybe when they get back to keep the team from not losing the season and all that stuff. Talk about high hopes. I mean, they started out, kind of right off the bat with, with 2 wins out of their first 3 games with a 55-0 huge victory over Taft. And people were kind of riding that Golden Valley bandwagon early, and then they lost a tough one in week 2, and then they get back on the snide in week 3 with a big win over Shafter, who Shafter has pleasantly surprised a lot of people in town. Coach Perucci with his spread attack going against Bakersfield Christian tonight, 2 spread attacking. That game could go on till midnight as they're chucking the pill all over the place. So interesting to look at.
Yeah. And what the seniors and even Carl Jones, who's a junior, Golden Valley players, they got to be thinking about next year, and everything they do here is going to be reviewed by the next level.
Castellon with the little belly pass going on here, trying to find the ball, and drops right through the mittens of number 17, Deontay Brown, and that could have been the nail in the coffin right there if he catches that, as Valdivino slipped on the turf, let Brown wide open where he could just run under it, and I think Brown got a little excited right there and was seeing the end zone before he actually caught the ball. Frustrating as a coach right there if you're Coach Lucero. Valdivinos and Bravo back to return the punt for the Golden Valley Bulldogs, trying to find a play. It appears it's going to be Bravo, and Bravo catches it, and he's got the left-hand side. There is some laundry on the field, but I like the way that Bravo runs. The flag is on the 35-yard line, and we're going to see what that call ends up being.
Talking about Golden Valley having guys that want to play at that next level, and they do have a couple guys that I think they can play at that next level. And it's games like this that bring out the character,
Absolutely.
And in Ricky's, what he does on the field is he's very capable of going to that next level. I don't know what he does in the classroom, but of course we've seen Jones and what he does on the field. If these guys can get everything together, they definitely got a future in the next level.
Holding call, bring it back to start off the drive for the Golden Valley Bulldogs. 7 minutes and 22 seconds in the second quarter. Got Julian Wilson doing a great job on the camera. Got my stepson running the production side right here, doing a good job.
Despite Julian being a Fresno Bulldog.
Yeah, he's doing a good job. Donnie Bravo does a little spin around on first down, and nonetheless gets nowhere. And this time we kind of go back. We want to see him take a shot, maybe to Victor Lopez, his receiver right here. Hasn't gone back since he dropped it early on. You hope that Carl Jones can trust his teammates again to go back and have that on there. We see Tank coming off the field right now. Coach Smith coaching him up, trying to find something, trying to find a play. They do this kind of no-huddle tempo as everyone has a wristband as they're looking on. Independence coming out in this kind of cover zero, no safety over the top. Carl Jones dropped back, delivers a decent enough ball. That's to number 28, Hodges. And it's going to pick up a short game, maybe gives it 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, but nonetheless 3rd and long, and this is what he's been facing all day as a quarterback. Both of us have been there before, 3rd and long. It's not a fun place to be.
Not at all. Not when you're chasing the chains all night.
Absolutely. That's a great call right there, Coach Van Horn. And here it is, Carl Jones dropping back, and he delivers a decent ball. Kind of hung in there a little bit, maybe put a little bit underneath it, try to have that bullet. Nonetheless, it ends up incomplete. It's going to be 4th and 8. You talked about it earlier, body language, body language, body language. Golden Valley's body language right now isn't the best right now that you want to have as a team, as Coach Van Horn said it perfectly, chasing the chains all night. Victor Lopez back to punt. Looks like it's Duluth again for the Falcons that will be returning it. And this is going to be field position good for the Falcons again. And it actually does take a favorable bounce for the Golden Valley. It's going to wind up at about the 31, 32-yard line. A little bit further back than I think they anticipated. Decent enough punt for Victor. Thoughts so far? I mean, we've talked about it all night, but what are your thoughts so far in this game, Coach?
Well, you know, we knew Independence was on a two-game winning streak, and on the other side, Golden Valley had lost 3 in a row. So it's you had two teams going in different directions, and Golden Valley had to put the brakes on and try to stop this downward spiral.
Castellon on the 32 in the pistol again. Hands the ball off to Duluth and trying to find that inside counter. Call it a Sally play. Maybe gets nothing. Maybe going to be set up 2nd and 10. But you call it right. You talk about opposite directions where they're moving. And Independence has proven that they are a worthy opponent in Bakersfield, especially in that D2, D3 rankings where they can kind of start to move up. Castellon in the pistol. Deep is Dinwiddie. Probably maybe a little too deep for that pistol look right there, but that is a long downfield handoff. Maybe it's designed that way, but it's going to be 3rd and 9. To me, it was a little too deep in a pistol. That's not traditional pistol right there.
Yeah. Well, if you remember back when Colin Kaepernick was with Nevada, he sat back at that 4, and the tailback was about
15 yards
eight behind him. So
Chris Alt, Colin Kaepernick, kind of the originator of the pistol in there as well. Castellon barking orders out. It's going to be about 3rd and 8. And there's the hard count.
Now, do you know why they call it? You know why they call it the pistol, right?
Why do they call it the pistol?
Well, you know, the shotgun, the quarterback sits how far? At 5. So pistol,
3 shooter,
quarterback,
right?
quarterback sits at 3 in the pistol.
Yeah.
So they wanted to be able to still have the running back run downhill, but still stay in the gun and give the quarterback a little bit of advantage when he's dropping back.
Has his eyes up at the field, seeing everything going on there. Castellon in the pistol again, 3rd and 13. A false start pushes him back. The ball is handed off to Duluth. They find that edge, and it seems like Independence is dialing up the right combination of calls. There is a little bit of laundry on the field on the far side on the opposite end. He needs to be in the area of holding. And we'll wait to see what the White House says. It definitely is holding, going to push it back even further. And if I'm Golden Valley, you take that penalty, take the yardage, because the field position is huge right here.
Yeah, but it was going to be 4th down. That was a 3rd down, 4th down, and about a long 4.
So you bring it up a long 4, but if you're fighting for that field position, that's a tough call right there. I think I'm going to go with Golden Valley because now you set up it even longer, and you gamble right now to see if you can get it even back further. But nonetheless, you give another chance for maybe you take a shot with Henderson, especially Golden Valley on the near side. You had Carl Jones in the middle of the field. Castellon gets the ball, does a little play action right here as well, and overshoots it, and the decision to push the ball back on the penalty pays off for him right now.
Pays off for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you were talking about both these teams are in Division III this year in the playoffs.
Yeah.
You know, Independence in that 5 spot right now.
Yeah.
Golden Valley's in that 8 spot, which isn't bad because they are 16 teams, I believe, in this Division III.
And Golden Valley can make some noise. I mean, getting there and getting the right spot if they get that discipline stuff together a little bit.
I think Independence can make a.
Hodges gets the ball right here. Valdivinos delivers a decent block, but Hodges is trying to find something go on. Castellon trying to make a tackle. Castellon at quarterback, and it appears to be on defense, on punt team. You know what I mean? Getting out there. Usually don't see the combination quarterback special teams on punt. Get on there. But nonetheless, it looks like Golden Valley is going to pick the ball up and start out on the 40. There's 4:15 left in the second quarter, 22-0 Independence Falcons. And it seems like forever and a day ago, but the very first play of the game was a 90-yard touchdown by Ramon Henderson to get it going. And, man, he is a fast young person that we have seen this year.
Well, he scored 2 touchdowns on the night so far, and we're in the mid of the second quarter.
And he did those in the first quarter, so he did that. He did that pretty quick, and he's been quiet kind of ever since.
Well, let me ask you this: has anybody doubled up as the Tony Pizza's player of the game yet?
Sam Stewart at Liberty doubled up. He was the only 2-time. Carl Jones 2x2 in the pistol, going to take a shot right here, going back to Victor Lopez, and that is a long reception for Victor Lopez and Carl Jones. And we could say this, looked like a quarterback right there, Coach.
Yes, he did. Nice catch by Victor Lopez. Victor Lopez got some great hands, great possession receiver. He's a kid he's not a blazer. I think his future, though, and we saw him kick off, use his foot against North High earlier in the year. He's a great kickoff guy. I think his future may be as a kicker. Yeah,
I talked to Victor Lopez during the scrimmage, and he actually plays soccer, and so he has some skills with that. But I will say this, I mean, we talked about it early in the game. They took a shot with him and he dropped it, and he wanted his opportunity again, and they went back to that. So that gives confidence for Carl Jones in Lopez as a receiver and Lopez as a pass catcher.
I don't think he dropped it. I think it was knocked out. The DB got a hand on it because he was had him by a step. But
the way Lopez responded, he may have felt like he should have caught it, if he had another chance at that. So here we go, 2x2 right here. Carl Jones in the pistol, got Bravo behind him, and Valdivinos on the far side gets going a little too quick. And this has got to be a killer for Golden Valley as they have some right things going, and then all of a sudden they get stopped a little bit. Second down and about 15. The clock is running, 3:35. Famous words of Chris Berman, tick, 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 tick. They got to get it going right here. They got to get on the board. If it's 22-7 going into half, I think it's a success. And Golden Valley will start off with the ball. Here we go. Carl Jones takes a step back, has some space, steps up and delivers a great ball. And it is dropped, but that is he looked like a quarterback right there. He's got some talent when every now and again he steps up and makes a decent enough throw. Yeah. That's a long throw from one hash to the next.
It is. He can definitely, he's an unpolished quarterback that, the kind you scout in PE and you say, hey, that kid can throw it,
Yeah, absolutely.
We both know that his future is not going to be as a quarterback.
2x2 again. Carl Jones getting back here, trying to find some space, make some things happen. There is laundry on the field. The ball gets driven into the ground. Curious to see what this is. It's usually in the area of holding, and Coach Lucero is trying to wave it off. We do have another flag over here that's close to the line of scrimmage. It's over here on about the 36. Curious to see what both of these penalties are going to be called. White Hat's talking with Coach Lucero. May want to take it back. He may play the field position game.
Well, I tell you what, on that rollout, we don't have the luxury of replay, but
instant data.
It's tough.
Holding is called.
Would have been tough for those Golden Valley linemen to hold that because he's rolling one way. The linemen were actually chasing.
Yeah.
Unless the guy reached out and just grabbed an Independence defender and pulled him back.
So with the pressure, and it looks like Coach Lucero is going to take it back and to make it third and just most of the football field. But one thing, when you have pressuring linemen like that, Coach Van Horn, you know as well as I know, what kind of middle screen do they have, or what kind of setup screen do they have to get them, to prevent them from rushing up the quarterback?
Yeah.
Do they have a draw play? Do they have something kind of in the middle of the field to prevent those linemen, keep those linemen from being overtly aggressive at the line of scrimmage? Nonetheless, we got 3rd and forever and a day. It looks like it's 3rd and 33. Could be longer than that. Carl Jones, 3-by-1 to the left, to the near side. Carl Jones dropping back. He's going to try, and he is going to heave it up. Got a decent enough arm, and that is caught. A big-time catch by Victor Lopez. Oh, my goodness. Is that a first down or what? Holy cow. Jeez. And he just chucked it up and gave his guy a chance.
I thought that ball was going to be picked for sure, and Victor Lopez comes out of nowhere, slices in, and makes a great catch. That's 2 great catches in a row, Victor Lopez, in the second quarter.
Timeout, Falcons.
Falcons have to call timeout, and Coach Lucero has to be beside himself. And this could be the play that re-energizes Golden Valley on 3rd and 33. Victor Lopez taking a chance. And I'm telling you, that first play, whether it was a pass deflection by Independence early on or a Lopez drop, Lopez, you can tell in his body language, says, that's not going to happen to me again. And he's made 2 spectacular plays. That one's in the middle of traffic right there, where you and I thought there was going to be an interception by the secondary of Independence right there, and it turned drastically differently. And now with 2 minutes and 47 seconds left, and you have this timeout on here, this could be the play that Golden Valley needs going into half, especially if they can get points on the board. We've seen it all. I'd like to see this game come down to the wire. That'd be a great game for them. Talk about a momentum game. I'm going to tell you, I mean, Golden Valley has some talent, and they're right in games, and they're down 20-10. And they hung with Highland. Highland is an aggressive team and all that stuff, and they start to pull away, but they have some opportunities and some chances. They can capitalize on some of these things. You never know if they come back against Independence tonight. This could be all the momentum that they could play spoiler for all these teams that are out there. Carl Jones under center, going 2-by-2 again. He's pointing at something, trying to identify what's going on with the defense, and he gets back here, and there is an opportunity and goes right in Simmerl. You got Valdivinos running in the center of the field, but I think he's looking for 6 right off the bat. 2nd and 10 for Golden Valley.
A little out and up. Well, we're going to get you off the Golden Valley bandwagon there for a minute.
I'm on it right now, especially that third down. I'm going to say if they score at half, this is going to be a game.
Yeah. And we'll talk more about it, this Division III playoff picture, that Independence is right in the mix of that picture.
Carl Jones kind of go with the hard count. Looks like Lance Henderson is going to be the Falcon that jumps offside, and that's what they're going to give it. And Golden Valley's got some life in them right now. We can see what happens. Coach Lucero is hoping that it's 22-0 going in half. Golden Valley gets the ball at halftime, and if Henderson can do it, Golden Valley's got a guy in Carl Jones that can run a 90-yard kickoff return to the house. Just like that, Carl Jones gets the ball, delivers a strike to Hodges, and it's going to be a first down about the 9-yard line. It's going to be 1st and goal.
We got 1st and goal on the 9. They got 2:39 left in the
first half.
Halftime. I don't know how many timeouts they have left.
Well, if we're looking at it, I think Golden Valley still has 2, 3-by-1. Carl Jones hands it off to Bravo, go right up the gut. The ball is going to be placed on about the 6-yard line, setting up 2nd and goal. Like the call, kind of right off the bat, get some running yards in there, see where they can go. 2:25 and ticking. Carl Jones gets to his wristband. Looks like they're going to go 3-by-1. Across the top, you got Valdivinos. You got Simmerl. You got Hodges. And then you got Victor Lopez near side. I think they're going to take a shot. Little bubble screen. Ooh, they called it a forward pass. They're going to call it incomplete. I think that's the right call right there. The ball looked like it was upfield.
Tough to tell from here, but it looked like it was forward. You know, this is a great time. If I've got a quarterback like Jones, you know, when you run the pistol, you take away the run pass option or the quarterback run option. Because he can't read that in. He's got to turn his back. This is a great time when you get a kid like that. The best play down in the red zone, inside the 10-yard line, is the option.
We have the option. We got Victor Lopez right here. Made some tough calls. Let's see if they're going to give him a chance. And they try to go slant across the middle. Dinwiddie, decent enough defense. I like your option call on 3rd down and maybe come back to the pass, maybe on 4th down. But this is 4-down territory. They got to kind of go for it to get back in the game. Lopez is looking for something. I thought that was good defense right there on Independence. Nonetheless, has to be a touchdown right here for Golden Valley to give them an opportunity to be back into this game. It is 4th down. This is a critical opportunity for them. Stacking the box is Independence. Carl Jones gets back, trying to find his way, and he is brought down. A big-time sack by number 50 of Independence. And that is Nathan Enriquez with a big-time sack on 4th down.
We have another shout out. Monica, you're beautiful. I love you. From JJ.
So it's going to be 1st down.
Officials timeout.
Officials timeout. Carl Jones appears to be down, and that's not what you have. You're Golden Valley.
Another shout out. Noe gets pressed by Chenito and Jesus Alejandro.
I'd like to thank our sponsors, the U.S. Army, Kern Schools Federal Credit Union. They've done a great job for us all year, being big financial donors and supporters of everything that we do. Really couldn't have the Kern High Network without either one of them and helping us out, get this going night in, night out. We got 2 football games a week. We've been having a volleyball game a week, and they've been right behind us supporting everything that we do.
Good job, GVHS band, from Sandra.
Big wintertime, Coach Van Horn coming up. We start the Monday after Thanksgiving with the grand opening of North High's new gymnasium.
That's right, Asia.
And that'll be a special ceremony dedicated to,
from Sasha.
You know, all the alumni and stuff right there. A special surprise that I think the mayor's going to be out there. Vince Fong will be out there. It'll be a great opportunity. It is the Taj Mahal of basketball gymnasiums.
No, it's beautiful.
It's beautiful out there. So that'll be North against Centennial to open that, varsity boys and girls. And then on Tuesday afterwards, it's kind of our kickoff week, we're going to have BHS and Ridgeview boys and girls at Ridgeview, and that's going to be exciting. You got 2 outstanding teams that are going to be back. BHS is reloaded. Ridgeview is going to has some guys coming back. They lose McCall and they lose Roberts, but they're definitely going to have some talent out there as well. Castellon gets under the pistol right here. 1st down for the Falcons. They're looking to throw the ball, and right in the middle of the field is Duluth, and he is looking to take it to the house, and that is a big-time gain for Duluth.
Well, we've got Laundry on the field. Looks like holding against Independence. That's going to bring it back.
Bring it all the way back, and that is a big-time play, and Duluth is wide open in the middle of the field. That has got to be frustrating as Coach Lucero, because now he had an opportunity to possibly go up 28-0, 29-0, and now it could be that 3-possession game. I told you that 4-possession ball game changes everything compared to a 3-possession game. So I'll say this, I'm not going to jinx anyone, but I think we've had 5,000 safeties on the Kern High Network alone. I mean, I think we've added about 5 or 6, so this is not without the realm of possibility right here to see a safety happen right here. Castellon in his own end zone, scary position to be, especially if you're a pistol team. Takes the snap right here, and they're looking to pass the ball, and he's going to take a shot, and why not take it to Henderson? A lot of contact going on there. And the penalty on the field, and that was, I think they were going back and forth with each other, and I think that's one where you swallow that whistle right there. But we are going to see what happens.
They were both looking. They are
going to call pass interference on Golden Valley, and that is a tough call. especially when we see that both of them were hand checking each other.
Well, they were both playing the ball. The DB's eyes were back at the ball, and that's what you got to see when you have the DB's eyes back on the ball. You can't have pass interference. So
that's a tough one.
So,
it's going to be 1st and 5 nonetheless for Independence. Timeouts for Golden Valley. Coach Cervantes, the defensive coordinator, wants a little bit of an explanation to see what's going on. And he's trying to ask what the heck happened right there. And I'm in agreement with him. That's a tough one right there, especially when you have some momentum going your way. You have some timeouts, and you can get field position. You haven't backed up. You get that free 15 yards right there.
Ball was thrown inside. Both players looking back at the ball.
Both had contact too. I mean, they both did it.
You got some big ears.
Yeah, might have been a non-call there.
Yeah. Such is high school athletics, though. You know what I mean? It just happens that way.
You guys make this a great school.
Very excited, Coach Van Horn. We have a slew of games next week. We'll announce that a little later on in the broadcast. But the last week of October, I could be way, way early on this, but I'm going to be traveling to Kern Valley High School to see the Kern Valley Bronx and all that. Excited, first time ever. Castellon gets the ball, faking the fly sweep, has someone wide open. It's Valdivinos with an opportunity for an interception.
Pass by number 10, Zechariah Castellon.
Independence taking their shots down the field. Not very good clock management going on right now. Going to be about 3rd and 4 or something like that.
Pretty good recovery by the young sophomore, free safety for Golden Valley.
Yeah.
That's a situation where if you're the Independence receiver, you've got to catch that ball. You got to go get it,
Nonetheless, it is we'll call it 2nd and 4. Castellon gets under center, and they're going to be looking to pass right now. No turnovers right now. Castellon delivers the ball, and
pass by number 10,
interesting play call. I think they're trying to put the pedal to the metal. A lot more passing that we've seen with about a minute and a half left, and this is in Golden Valley's favor right now about what they're doing. So interesting play call right now. Golden Valley can get a stop right here and keep it to 4th down. They have another chance, especially if they got that dude Carl Jones back there, and he appears to be healthy. He's on the field right now. See if the Bulldogs can make a play. 2 receivers to the near side. Castellon back in the pistol formation. And it's going to be a delayed handoff, almost a draw right now. Looking to see if Golden Valley takes a timeout. And it's 4th down, and the clock is going to be ticking.
Number 40, Christopher Wyrick with the carry.
And it's still ticking. It's 4th down. Golden Valley has an opportunity right here. Probably not the possession that that Independence wanted to have on this. But as the clock is ticking now underneath a minute, Coach Lucero's holding them up a little bit. Appears that Golden Valley has no timeouts left. Trying to run a fake right here. And the fake appears to work right here. And 1st down for the Falcons.
Number 17, Deontay Brown with the carry.
Deontay Brown carries it for the first down, and the Falcons, they want to score before. I think they want that four possession game.
Well, yeah,
huge gamble.
Like you said, they let some time run off the clock there, waiting for that play to snap the ball. And if you're going to run the fake, you might as well get it done now.
Castellon back to pass, trying to look for something open, and he scrambles forward and is able to dink it right here. And that's Wyrick right here with a big play that's going on, and that is a big time 1st down.
Pass by number 10, Zechariah Castellon, complete to number 40, Christopher Wyrick.
And that is a big play. 26 seconds left on the clock. They're going no huddle, and it appears a timeout is called. But what a headsy play by Castellon to Wyrick.
Falcons.
Wyrick had an opening. He thought, he was deciding on whether to go out of bounds, stop the clock, or if he saw something to get more, he'd take it, and he did see something and gained probably about another 25 yards.
But thank you, Brett Favre, for your little improvisation on how you throw the ball. Doesn't matter how it goes on there. He's just trying to – it's almost like a shuffle going forward right there as well. Interesting.
Shout out. Mario Andreas Garcia, call your parents now.
But this is this territory right here, and maybe knowing Castellon's arm, this is where you take a shot to Henderson if you're Independence, and they prove they have that. They have an opportunity. They could take a shot, go over the top on that.
Well, they got about 3 plays within that 26 seconds. They're going against the wind.
Yeah.
That's one.
Henderson
deterrent
on the far side, trying to see if they can isolate him. And nonetheless, that's exactly what they do. Take a shot. Castellon with a decent enough ball, and the penalty comes out. And it appears that it's going to be pass interference again. And this is just something that has got to make Coach Cervantes, that's a little bit more justified.
That was a little bit more, justified, because he wasn't looking, the DB wasn't looking for the ball.
Pass interference on the Bulldogs. 15-yard penalty.
We've got a breeze kicking up out here.
And it's
all of a sudden, and a good little wind here that Independence is going against.
And nonetheless, we always got to pay attention to number 11. We got Henderson on the far side. Carl Jones coming back to the middle of the field, and it looks like they're going to go back to that.
Oh,
and great
nice
play by Hodges across the middle. Dangerous pass right there by Castellon, because you have not only a great pass deflection by Hodges, but you got Carl Jones sitting right there in the middle of the field. That's a dangerous pass right there.
Well, I thought would like to see Jones get a little depth on that and make that play.
Yeah.
That's his play. That's a free safety play.
Independence very intent about scoring at the half, making this a 4-possession game, making it nothing. I'm definitely going to spy over the top to Henderson, and there's Jones sitting back there in the middle of the field. And there's flags coming all over. Eventually, if I'm seeing, they've been running a lot of stuff inside. I wonder if they have a post corner or something like that that gets that ball out to the edge away from Jones rather than going to the middle of the field. False start pushes that back 5 yards. And Independence Falcons, 2nd and 15. 16 seconds left in the first half. If you're just joining us, Mr. Henderson of the Falcons, 90-yard kick return to start the game off. First play of the game. 2 receivers away, Castellon going, and he's looking around trying to make something happen. He's got to get out of bounds, stop the clock. 9 seconds left.
Number 10,
Piers maybe gets a yard, gets it back to the original line of scrimmage, or just short of the original line of scrimmage. And we're going to see right here, see Coach Lucero talking to Coach Henderson at the top. Maybe they got a play. Maybe he's asking, what do you want to do? How do you want to handle this? See what's going on. Hodges all night has had his hand full, and we're curious to see what play he's going to dial up right now at 3rd and 11. I think it's between United. This is 4-down territory for Coach Lucero.
Yeah, because apparently, like you said, they don't have a kicker. They've went for 2 points on every touchdown that they scored. So
Golden Valley's playing back a little bit, and nonetheless, they're going to that corner over there. And interesting call. Got to have a little bit of a stronger arm to get that to that far pylon.
You just got to throw it a little quicker.
A little quicker, a little further, get that arm strength in there. Castellon is taking his chances right now. And I think that's the call. We had talked about getting him out to that edge. He's got to be able to make that throw right here. But here comes Castellon. 4th and 11, 5 seconds left to go. This appears to be the play. Golden Valley is going to press back a little bit. I think they're looking one way, and they're going to hand the ball off to Duluth to see if they're going to catch them napping. And Duluth does a little wiggle here and there, gets out of bounds. There's no time left on the clock. And I don't know if anyone realizes that there's no time left on the clock. Maybe they do. And they're hustling over there. So at halftime, what we have right here, 22-0, Independence
Bulldogs
over
0.
Golden Valley. We are going to take a short break. It has been a long first half. We're going to get a word from our sponsors, and then Coach Van Horn and I get back, talk about that Division III stuff again, and we're going to look at some other things. But nonetheless, we are going to get right in there. We'll be back right after these messages from the Kern High Network.
Every team trains hard. Every team prepares to win. But when U.S. Army soldiers take the field, it's best if the other guys don't bother showing up. See if you have what it takes at goarmy.com/team.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I'm a traditional banker. I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
As a millennial, for me, it's all about the mobile.
And I'm somewhere in between. I still do everything online or through an ATM.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. That's why we're the #1 financial institution in all of Kern County.
Take advantage of our low mortgage rates, including 60-day rate lock and no cost to you. Purchase or refinance your home today.
Kern Schools, together we have something special.
We're learning a lot about how mobile apps are made, the programming and coding that goes into it, along with the time and effort. Along with that is also the entrepreneurship of the class, learning how to run our own business.
We're also learning basic marketing skills, people skills, graphic design, and social media marketing so that they can freelance, they can work on their own, they can apply for a job, they can go to BC or Cal State or any other university who offers programs that are specific within the mobile app development concentration or business concentration.
With my future and career, I do plan on being somewhat of an entrepreneur, owning my own business, sort of a clothing brand line. And so this will definitely help me out with possibly an app for my company and the entrepreneur part, helping me be able to run my business as smoothly as I can make it go.
We're learning the different roles, what a game designer is, what they do, and how video games are made, and how to deconstruct them.
We're also going to be teaching the hard skills, which includes learning the Unreal Engine. And what the Unreal Engine is it's a game development tool that students will be able to use to make their very own video games. And this is something that actually industry professionals use every day to make some of the top-selling games. They're all the same size. You're all on the same plane. There's no undulating terrain or anything like that.
Our instructor, he's really amazing. He encourages everybody. He's really fun, and he makes learning fun.
So they've got top-of-the-line computers here, and they're set up to excel. I would be surprised if other students their age coming out of high school would have anywhere near the level of expertise that these guys are going to have.
This is where we're going to train the kids to actually get jobs in the industry. We're going to give them the basic tools that they need, also the skills that they need to understand where they fit into the industry.
All the animated things, because we have everything that we need in the scenes.
They are learning the principles of animation, Photoshop. They're learning how to animate in 2D and 3D. And when you swap to that shape, then you're just going to drag these over here.
The storyboard aspect of creating basically the skeleton of the story, and then just sort of directing people in my vision of what I want in the story. And it's also giving me the advantage of Mr. Pollard, since he's worked at so many companies, being able to put it in my resume and be like, this is the art direction I've received.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Kyle Wiley of the Kern High Network, joined by my longtime friend and colleague and someone I've worked a lot with over the past year, I would say more than anything is, I'll say this, Rick, you started the inquiry into delving into football's past, and you did that with Haley Street Heroes and Friday Night Heroes collections and all that. And then this year I've been fortunate in my new position to be able to really delve into almost all of the schools, not to the scope and depth that you've had, but I've worked with you on a lot of different things. I'm really excited about the venture that we've looked at, so it's been a great process to look at as well. We're at Golden Valley right now. Halftime festivities going on. 22-0 Independence leads Golden Valley. Started the very first play of the game, 90-yard kick return by Ramon Henderson, who we know he's a weapon. We know he's been fast, and he proved it tonight so far.
Yeah, it was not the way Golden Valley wanted to start or needed to start.
Yeah.
You know, we talked about their 3-game slide that they needed to stop, although Independence has got some momentum going into this final phase of the season, this last half.
Yeah.
We talked about what I think is we may have a Ridgeview Independence showdown at the game 10.
It could be. And here's the thing, Golden Valley, you know, I'm on that bandwagon, and you talked about that early on, but maybe it's that one thing is they have opportunities, and they're right there, and I firmly believe that if they can, some of these things could go their way, they just have they have talent out there. You know, they have Bravo, they have Valdivinos, they have, you know, Tank out there. They got Carl Jones leading the way, but nonetheless, it's been very tight. Right now, the Frontier Titans, and this is from a little while ago, about an hour ago. I got to recheck at this, but at one point, the Frontier Titans were up 14-0 over the BHS Drillers, and right now it's 20-14 Garces over Centennial in the third quarter over there of a decent ball game to look at that. I'll try and get some more scores. 20-0 South High was up over Miramonte, and let's see if I can get some more, see what we can look at.
Well, you know, we were talking about that playoff picture in the Division III bracket. You know, you've got the number 1 team in that bracket, Tulare Western, who's, you know, they're for real. Then you've got San Joaquin Memorial, Bakersfield Christian at number 3, Kingsburg at number 4, and then you've got this Independence team at number 5. Sitting at 7 is a Highland team that's, I think, could contend for that Division III title.
They really could to look at. They're very tough, and I think you look at that. Highland is explosive. Both sides, you know, hometown sports has their hit of the week, and like 4 out of 5 weeks they have the hit of the week, and they fly around on defense, and they're led up front. Yeah. I mean, number 52, drawing a blank right now. I see him right in my head right now. Number 52 on them leads the way, does a lot of things. They have Reyes on their team as well. They do a lot of good things. Some other scores to look at. BCHS leads Shafter 28-9 right now. North over Foothill 34-6. How about this? Ridgeview fights back to tie the score with West 21-21. What a game that's turning out to be on there as well. Trying to find the BHS score real quick, see if I can find something for you guys to look at it, to have it on there. At the half, Liberty is up 21-13 over Stockdale. Thought that game would be a little bit more out of hand, but it's not to look at. So let's take a look.
Well, that doesn't surprise me. You know, you've got first of all, you got Stockdale Liberty, which is a neighborhood match. So that's always going to be a tough grudge match because they both have athletes. Liberty, I thought, after last week, had turned the corner and is going down to this. Now they're playing local teams. They're not playing the powerhouses that they did down south. So
Frontier up 14-13 over the Drillers. That's the last score that we have. It looks like East is up 7-6 over Tehachapi. There's been a lot of close games with Tehachapi. We've noticed it throughout this year. A lot of one-point games, overtime games. they had with Garces where they won that game. So, nonetheless, a lot of tight games this week that we have.
They're in that mid-major in this Southwest, or excuse me, South Yosemite League with these guys, Independence and Golden Valley. So those West, East, that's a very tough league. There's not going to be any blowouts in those games.
Absolutely. Well, we'll try to keep you posted with what we have going on so far. This game right now, we have the band coming out. We got about 2 minutes and 20 seconds counting down. If you're Golden Valley and you're Coach Smith, what are you telling your squad at halftime to get them back into this game?
Well, step by step. Any momentum's a good step forward. You don't gotta, of course. It's the old cliche. You can't shoot yourself in the foot. You can't have penalties. You can't turn the ball over. You can't do all that stuff. We got to find a way to get Carl Jones in space.
Yeah.
Okay. Whether it's running the Wildcat, whether it's putting him a receiver, whatever it is, we need to find a ways to widen our splits. Whatever it is, find a way to get him the ball. We really didn't see much out of him that first half. He had one run in the first possession, 50-yard run that was called back. Other than that, we haven't seen much of him tonight.
They were kind of running that counter speed option where they fake one way and speed it back the other way. Let's see if they could kind of dabble back into that a little bit. No real design runs. They're favoring that sprint out to the left, if you notice that right there, which is a tough throw for him to make. I think there is stuff that is open. They have some corners and they have some different things that are open. Independence is playing that cover zero, and Independence is of the mindset that we have the guys that can cover them in space. Now, your Coach Lucero on the other side of the ball, they had like a minute 40 left, and they were taking shots down the field. What do you tell your team as Coach Lucero, being in that driver's seat per se, 22-0, you're kicking the ball at half? What are you telling your team?
Well, let's keep the pressure on.
Yeah.
Let's not let these guys get back in the game. They know what Golden Valley has. They know they've got Jones, and they've got a kid outside, Lopez, that can catch the ball.
Yeah.
They've got their own set of playmakers for Golden Valley. In order for them to change this culture at Independence and be a perennial playoff team, they've got to learn to play ahead and how to act when they're ahead. And what that means is by not taking the foot off the gas, keeping the pressure on, let's put them away, and then worry about next week.
Curious to see the play calling that's going on there, as I see, Borelli, and you see Castellon warming up on the sideline as the Falcons are going to be coming out right now. Castellon, I thought, had a very good first half. For as you talked about, there's some growth stuff that he had. Maybe it's the inconsistency of him not playing the full-time starter role that we've looked at, that kind of become kind of a cliche thing, not only in high school athletics, but we kind of see it in the college level a little bit, kind of who's got the hot hand right there as well. We'll see what happens in this half as Independence is coming out. Don't usually have the largest squad that we have right here. I want to thank our sponsors, U.S. Army. I want to thank Kern Schools Federal Credit Union, Tony's Pizza Player of the Game we've been talking about tonight. I want to thank Julian, who's on the camera. He does a great job. He's going to pan in on that big bulldog over there. He's going to pan in on that big bulldog over there as the Bulldogs come out right here. I love large inflatable animals, I guess, that are out there. Get out there. I love these inflatable mascots that we have right there. A great thing that has been invented in the world of sports. I got Nathan, my main man, running production down here. He does a great job doing things all night, capturing the replays, putting stuff on Twitter. He's done an awesome job. Rick Van Horn, always your insight is invaluable. You've been around the game. You've been around players all this time. We talked about some of these legendary players that we've looked at from each one of these schools. And they're relatively young schools, but like we were talking about Preston Hodges earlier and watching some of his shootouts that he had in Ridgeview games, that classic D3 type games that are in there to see where they come from. But we're in the back end of football season, and this season has come by rather quickly, you know, and we're going to start talking about playoff football. And, you know, you talk about Highland being scary good, but, man, those Tulare schools are also pretty stinking good themselves.
They sure are.
They've beat some people up pretty bad around these parts. I mean, Tulare Western 52-7 over Independence, one of their few losses that they have. Another one is a coast team, Arroyo Grande, which next year we're going to start seeing some of those coast schools end up in the CIF Central section, moving from that southern section, and that's near and dear to my heart, being a former Rigetti Warrior, mighty Warriors.
Well, we know the power in the Division I bracket is in Fresno.
Yeah, this
Central,
year.
Buchanan, Clovis West have came down here and kind of threw the gauntlet down, threw the flag in the middle of the field, says we own you guys.
But I'll say this, Liberty beat Clovis West to open it off week 1. And Liberty, and I'm going to say this, is Liberty's interesting. I know they had that beat down against Central. I think it was 31-3, but I think there's a different game. Liberty's a physical football team. You saw that last week. You know, Sammy Stewart, you got Jonty, you got Anthony Villanueva. You got a lot of guys in there that are tough runners, and they're young. A lot of juniors. They got Isaiah Hill, who's still trying to get things figured out at the quarterback position, get his confidence going. Their JV team's undefeated, and I think their freshman team has lost one game, so they got a lot of stuff coming up as we look on there. So.
Yeah, but that's, you know, you got to take it year by year.
Yeah.
You know, like coaches say, game by game, year by year. And no matter how you color code it, Fresno's come down and taken care of business this year. Now, that wasn't the case last year. You know, it was Bakersfield, it was Liberty the year before, and Bakersfield last year. So every so often, Fresno has a talent that can rise up and do what they did this year.
You know, we take pride in all these Bakersfield school and all that stuff too as well, but we got to realize that everything in life is very, very cyclical, and you're 100% right. I mean, this year Central is loaded not only in football, but they're also loaded in volleyball. And it's like football, Central Buchanan 1-2. Volleyball, Central Buchanan 1-2. And last year is BHS winning football, Liberty winning volleyball. So it just ebbs and flows each year as we go through.
It sure does.
Here we go to start the third quarter as we look at it. Independence will be returning, and you got Bravo back there along with Carl Jones. Let's see if the second half started like the first half. I'm calling it right here. Carl Jones to the house right here. If they give him a chance right here, we're going to start it off right there. And the ball is off, and it bounces through to Carl Jones, and hopefully my prediction comes true. Van Horn owns me dinner if it does, and he's spinning around. He's still going, and it looks like it's going to be down on the 32, 33-yard line, maybe the 34. Runs hard, so I guess I owe you dinner, Coach Van Horn, right there as we get started. You'll like this, Coach Van Horn. Met with Coach Permenter to get some game film today. Got some 1972 Foothill West and Foothill East. Lonnie Shelton. Looking at him as an athlete, perhaps considered one of the greatest athletes to ever come out of Kern County.
Well,
or maybe even the Valley.
Yeah.
Up there. He's got to be up there.
Definitely probably the best three-sport athlete, football, basketball, and track.
And I heard that basketball, he was the worst. You know, and he's a 11-year
He was
11-year NBA player. Carl Jones in the pistol, handing it off to Bravo to start this off. Get a good, solid, positive game. Get about 2 yards, 3 yards, setting up 2nd and 7, 2nd and 8. What we'd like to probably see if I'm Golden Valley is get in those 3rd and manageables, you know, those 3rd and 2s, not these 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8s. Take the pressure off of Carl Jones from having to pass, because 3rd and 2, you got a lot more options rather than just trying to have him pass the ball. Here comes Carl Jones under center. Got a wing off to his left. That's Simmerl. Donnie Bravo behind him. Simrel with underneath handoff, and he can scoot right here, and he is getting by. And this is a long run right here for Simrel. Ronnie Simrel with the big play.
He had a similar run off that same play in the first half.
First down, Bulldogs.
So that's the second time that he's probably the leading rusher for Golden Valley, but that same play, he's probably gained close to 60 yards on those two plays. Talking about Lonnie Shelton, Lonnie is probably, and not even arguably, he is the best three-sport athlete ever to come out of here. We've had some great two-sport athletes. You know, you look at Cody Kessler and football and basketball, and Pat Osborne.
Carl Jones in the pistol once again going underneath that little counter-type Sally play, and another first down for Simrel. And they found a little wrinkle in that. And one thing when you have aggressive defenses, and we talked about that early on, do they have a counter to that aggressive front and all that stuff? If you can hit a counter and pop a counter, you're going to get some yards that goes off that.
Well, this is exactly what Golden Valley needed coming out of the halftime, is to put together a grit drive, and this is the best drive they've had so far up to this point.
And they have not had to rely on Carl Jones and his arm, but they're relying on other people, and that takes the pressure of Carl Jones off. Handoff is to Bravo, going straight up the gut, going north-south this time rather than the counter. Gets about one or two.
Number 21, Donovan Bravo with the
got to help you find someone else. Simrel, just a sophomore. That's impressive for the young sophomore getting out there and being able to do what he can do. Definitely can help him out. They get him going. That's just another weapon in their arsenal. 2nd and 9 is what it looks like for the Golden Valley Bulldogs. I think this is a must score right here. Get points on the board, make it 22-7, hopefully get a stop. Carl Jones gets the ball, hands it off right there to Bravo. Going straight ahead with kind of a zone read to look at it, and a little stalemate, both sides right there. Ball is on the ground, but the ball is blown dead. It looks like it's to be, and we've talked about this a little bit earlier, very, very manageable 3rd down and about 4, maybe 5, kind of right in between. That's a good way to start for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, good little counter tree right there, inside handoff to Bravo. Bravo not the biggest guy on the field, but I tell you what, I like the way he runs.
He's tough. Second leading rusher on the team with about 330, 340 yards coming into this game. First being Carl Jones with about 435. Carl Jones in the pistol right now. Going to hand it up back off to Bravo. And this is a healthy dose, and it appears to be a Bulldog first down. And I think they're going to give it to him. It's going to be 1st and goal. And this is exactly what they need. And, you know, Golden Valley, if they can keep momentum going, good things can start to happen to them. Is it going to give him the first down? Yes, they are going to give it to him. It's going to be 1st and goal for the Bulldogs as they start to march in. 9 minutes, 27 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. I'm Kyle Wiley, Rick Van Horn with me. We've been all over Bakersfield this year covering high school football. We're going to continue to do that. We venture out some exciting games to finish off the year. We'll talk about those in just a second. Carl Jones in the pistol, 1st and goal. See if they can score right here. Hand it off to a steady dose of Bravo. And it is going to be Bravo for 6, and it's going to be a touchdown.
Nice drive by Golden Valley. They didn't throw the ball one time. Straight run against Independence, who did a great job in that first half, putting the kiboshes on Golden Valley offense. But this second half, Golden Valley's come out very meticulously, marched the ball down the field.
And they didn't try to do too much. They stayed within their system. They ran, kept Carl Jones healthy.
Could that be the first drive all season that they've had that Carl Jones hasn't gained a yard in that touchdown drive?
Retry extra point.
Could be. And I'll say this is there was no design pass, no design run for Carl Jones. It was all trusting teammates. Getting out there. Going to be backed up a little bit, so we're going to hold off to see if it's either going to be 7 or 6 that go on here. And we know that Victor Lopez can boom it.
And the extra point is
and it's good.
Falcons 22,
22-7, just like that, 2-possession game. And there were opportunities to get it back in there, but I like this formula. If they can get a stop on defense, run, and they found it, and you talked about the counter trays that they're giving to Bravo, the little inside counters that they're giving to Simrel on that kind of sally that we see on there. And once again, they're exploiting that aggressive style defense, trying to find those little wrinkles, those little holes to get going in there.
Adeline, you're really cute. Let me cup.
So I'm a coach. So Independence is talking, how do we stop counter? Golden Valley, what's our next step off of running that counter? What would you do off that, Coach?
Well, you keep running until they stop it.
Yeah.
It's very simple, and then
maybe a little wrinkle, play action off that you could do something.
Play action out of that. You saw a lot of zero coverage that Independence ran with no free safety. Now you can get – now that kind of opens up your pass game, and now you can get Lopez involved again.
Yeah. Confidence going the Bulldogs' way, definitely what they needed to start this second half. Lopez kicking it off right now, and it's going to be Lance Henderson right now. And he started off the first half with the kick return for the house. And nonetheless, he brings it up to about the 25-yard line, and that's where they'll get started.
First down, Falcons.
Now, Independent, their best friend in this second half for Independence is the clock.
Yeah,
they don't want to. They don't want to get greedy and go start airing it out, and that clock stops. And then talked about giving Golden Valley that ray of light.
But what's their style and their definition? We talked about Highland kind of being that way where they're going. They want to keep it going. Duluth with the top handoff right there, almost a sweep across the top, getting some tough yards. I like this Duluth. Duluth is just a junior, so he'll be back next year. Their skill guys loaded for the next few years. You got Duluth, a junior. You got Henderson, just a sophomore. What he is able to do is pretty special to look at that. Nonetheless, first down for the Falcons as they get up there, and this is Golden Valley's got to dig in, show their Bulldogs strong right now, and see if they can hold Independence so they can get a chance to get back on there. Last thing they want to see is Independence with the long drive. First thing Independence wants to do is establish a long drive, take some of this clock off right here. 8:57 left in the third quarter. And Borelli gives the ball right out there to Henderson. And we've got a new quarterback out there. Castellon appears to be out. Borelli is in there to start the second half. Maybe he gets his chance to see if he's got the hot hand. Going to be second and 6. Do you like that switch right there, Borelli for Castellon?
Well, like I said, we haven't seen Borelli since the first game.
Yeah.
We didn't see much of Castellon at all, so I really don't know what's gone on between games 2 and 5 there. So.
Well, Borelli was the Tony's Pizza player of the game against Stockdale, where he led this massive comeback to have in there, so he definitely has some talent. A run carried up the middle, trying to get a name and number. Appears to be Wyrick on the carry. And it's going to be another Falcons first down. So Golden Valley comes back, run. And Independence comes out, and they are definitely giving them a taste of their own medicine. The white hat blows the whistle before we call a first down on that. They are going to get a measurement.
Well,
just to see where it's at.
One thing we haven't talked about, and you mentioned the Stockdale game.
Yeah.
They're a Division I team or Division II.
Division
but,
II, yeah.
In the SEC that we call it around here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
beat them. And that was
big win.
Probably as big a win as they've had in their whole short-lived history of the school.
Kind of a little bit of a rivalry, you would call that, on the Southwest. I mean, all those kids know each other. They're right next to each other. And I'm going to tell you, that Jalen Smith cat over there at Stockdale, he can play the quarterback position pretty well. He's an athlete you have to worry about every single time. So that's a big lifting win, and that's going to help them out when playoffs come. Nonetheless, Borelli under center in the pistol gets Duluth going in motion, and they get him on the fly sweep coming across the top. Maybe gets about a yard or two. Going to call it 2nd and 8. One thing we have not talked about is the big Bulldog right in the center of the field. You see right there, the artist behind that. Freehand draws that, then puts it on there, and then just kind of does his own thing. He's done work at Centennial and South High, does great work out there. Borelli in the pistol formation. Got Duluth off to the left, coming in that motion. Hands it off to Wyrick. They're finding something on those edges right here, and Wyrick runs the ball hard and sets up another first down for the Independence Falcons. Independence is finding those edges and finding those spots. Coach Lucero definitely does his homework right there. Look at it. But this is a draining drive if Golden Valley can't find a spot right here.
Well, it's going to be very draining if Independence answers back after Golden Valley took a nice drive to open that second half. So Independence just has to be a winning program. They've got to do the little things here. They all have rules to block and run.
Ball's handed off to Dinwiddie. Going to get about maybe 3 or 4 yards.
And Coach Lucero just wants them to, hey, just play the way we taught you. You've lined up against big guys, Stockdale, some of these teams, and in order to go deep in those playoffs, it's stuff that they're doing now that's going to carry them deep in those playoffs.
Absolutely right. He talked to me before game. Nathan Enriquez, Devon Zinn, Lance Henderson, Luke Galvez. Those are the guys he relies on up front that are the big hogs, and they both sides of the ball. I got to rely on them as they go forward. The clock is ticking. This is a big drive for Independence as we're getting down towards 6 minutes. In between plays, it's almost taking an entire minute to go on there. Borelli gets back, and he drops back, has a play, and Duluth is wide open for the Falcons. Touchdown. I mean, it's you get excited and you look at that right there, and it's a little down, but that is a big-time touchdown that we see right there from Borelli to Duluth. What happened on that play, Coach?
Just right up the seam.
Yep.
Just right up the seam, and quarterback actually made a good throw. There's a hole right there between that flat defender and the free safety, and he put it right there. You've put a little air on it. You'd like to see that free safety Jones make a play on that, but give all the credit to Independence.
And once again, we've seen all night, Duluth gets to the edge right there, and they are now going to take the 29-7 lead with 6:08 left in the third quarter. Actually, it's going to be 30.
Very nice drive by Independence to answer the score that Golden Valley put on in that opening drive of the second half.
And you saw right there is they run, bring them up. What are they going to do? Take a shot? Yeah. Why not? They go through there. Had Duluth wide open. Duluth has had some huge plays. He had one called back at the end of the first half right here, but is this going to be deflating right here for Golden Valley? It's a 3-possession game, but that was a long drive right there for Independence. They get back on the board. What about Borelli coming in the second half? Kind of cold as a quarterback and is able to complete some balls right there to give his team a chance.
Well, that's a good problem that Coach Lucero has.
Yeah, 2 quarterbacks that are playing pretty decent right now. Nonetheless, ball gets off, kind of a little pooch right here, and Independence could land on this, and it appears that they have landed on this, and Independence retains the ball with 6:05 left. Was it on purpose? Was it I couldn't really tell right there, but nonetheless, Independence has the ball back on their own, what are we going to call that, own 40 right now, as they have 6 minutes and 5 seconds left in the third quarter, and if they score right here, this is going to be awful hard for the Golden Valley Bulldogs to come back.
I'm hoping that was just a slip
or a
mistake,
yeah,
a missed kick.
Borelli in the pistol. Got Dinwiddie behind him. Borelli scrambling back, and they're going to take a shot again, and that's Henderson. And you've talked about it all night. You want to see number 3 make plays, and he sprints all the way across the field and is able at the last second break it up a little bit. And it's going to be 2nd and 10 for Independence.
Yeah, that was the good news for Golden Valley. The bad news is he's getting behind that cornerback.
Yeah.
You know, that's not the first time.
There was separation right there. I agree with you 100% on that. 2nd and 10, Borelli in the pistol again. On the far side is the guy that both him and Castellon have been looking for, Duluth in the wing. Going to come across the top. Ball is going to be handed off. I believe it's Dinwiddie is the tailback that's going on right there.
Good tackle by big defensive tackle, number 70.
Yeah. Clayton Waters. Thank you to the PA announcer for helping us out on that, too, as well. A little dark up here. 3rd down and about 11 for the Independence Falcons. Borelli gets the call from Coach Lucero. If I'm a betting man, I think they're going to probably take a shot right here. Henderson, you always got to pay attention to where he's at. He's on the far side. Kind of cheated his way.
Wouldn't be a bad spot for a little screen here.
Maybe a little bubble screen that goes on there. Fakes the little belly pass that's going on there. Borelli's trying to make a play happen. Throws it out of bounds. Smart play I would give right here. Going to set up 4th and 11. Coach Lucero thinking about maybe actually going to bring his punt team on right here. Pin him back deep. I agree with this call wholeheartedly. Play that field position game.
Well, they've already ran one fake.
Absolutely.
Right before half, so that's not out of the question because their punter is a very good runner.
And thinking about it, and that is a very, very dangerous play to look at. Golden Valley guys all the way around the ball. I will never understand that. We've seen that all around town.
Well,
offensive guys gathering around the ball. It's not a basketball. It's a weird shape, football shape that you can look at. For the life of me, I just grew up maybe in a different generation. Peter, and you run away from it. You run directly to the sideline.
Not a very well executed punt.
Yeah.
By Independence. That was a little, that rugby punt.
Yeah.
But a little shaky there on the execution.
30-7, 4:58 left in the 3rd quarter. Carl Jones comes out. Got Victor Lopez and number 6, Valdivinos, near side twins. Hands off to Bravo right here. He's had a pretty good game in the second half with some runs. And Golden Valley get about another 6-yard gain. But unfortunately, because of the deficit that they've put themselves in, they need to be able to put the ball in the air besides just running it right there, especially after the last stop.
Well, Bravo's got to be close to 100 yards already here. And we're midway through the 3rd quarter, so if nothing else, I mean, they have been effective running the ball at times. Golden Valley has.
Carl Jones in the pistol, handing it inside, which has been a successful play for him, is giving the ball to Simrel, but he is met almost instantly by Jaden Irvin on that outside linebacker. We kind of call that when I was kind of growing up and when I was coaching defense or even an offensive guy, you always got to have a guy worry about Cobra, which is cutback boot reverse accountability. So that's that outside linebacker on the backside has got to hold his water a little bit. He may not be in the play on the flow, but on things like Sally and all those things like that come back around and make the play. Looks like there is a legal block. It's going to push Golden Valley back. They've been behind the chains a lot tonight, which has hurt them. You got Victor Lopez on this near side, who definitely is a guy that can catch the ball. Clock is running, 4 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. Just going to go underneath it now. trying to figure out what the play is. Double move right here. Simmerl. Incomplete his way. Independence appeared to have read it. Nice call with them. 3 minutes, 49 seconds left as the clock stops on that incomplete. Trying to see if we have some scores from across town tonight. Looks like the Golden Hawks with 4 minutes and 11 seconds take the 21-20 lead. Alexander to Hartsfield on a big touchdown to him. It's 21-20, Centennial over Garces. Jones gets in the pistol, and he's going to drop back, and he's being chased down for his life, trying to make plays happen, and a big loss, and in pursuit with them all night. Number 5, Luis Alvarez, was all over him trying to find that. Almost had a stop initially in the backfield. Also in on that play. Trying to get a number down there. Looks like number 85. I just don't have that number, so I apologize to the young man. Supposed to make that play. But now it's going to be Victor Lopez going to be punting away for Golden Valley deep into their own end zone. And it's going to be number 7, Jaden Irvin, who's made some plays tonight on defense as well. Almost, and a flag comes out, and we are going to see what this is going to be. David Hernandez, Independence. We don't know if this is going to be a personal foul, if it's going to be running into the kicker, but this is the second time they've done that tonight.
Yes, it is. I think it's going to be running into the kicker. It's going to be
5 yards.
5 yards, and he actually got a pretty good kick and a good bounce out of that. So well, it looked like they marked off 15 on that.
It looks like Ridgeview is going to. If that's a personal foul, it's automatic first down.
Yeah, I guess that's what
I guess what they call unnecessary roughness that's going on there. It looks like Ridgeview's starting to pull away from West, 42-28, as they're starting to pull away from that right now. Alexander Williams with the 30 from 30 yards out is able to take that over there. BCHS is now beating Shafter pretty handily, 35-9. Right now is where we're at. Tehachapi 21, East 7. So they're pulling away. Carl Jones back in the pistol again, trying to find Simmerl in and out of his hand. That's a good ball right there. That's just got to be caught right there by Simmerl.
Yeah, that was good, quick little pass by Jones. Got to catch those.
Drillers look to be up on the Frontier Titans right now. 19-14 into the start of the fourth quarter. Kind of setting up our Kern High Network games of the week next week. We are going to have the Centennial Golden Hawks at Bakersfield Drillers. Second game at Griffith Field this year. Exciting place. I know you're torn on that, Mr. Van Horn. You like the traditions. You like all the echoes of Goldie Griffith and all that stuff that go through there. But with an old stadium, there has to come necessary modernization and things like that too as well. So it was tough to see that water tower go down, which was kind of a staple of that. But I like the nice rendition that they brought to that with a little bit of fountain that's out there. Gave it a nice touch, nice tartan track. Probably see some different things that go on out there as far as track and field is concerned. So we got Centennial against BHS at Griffith Field. We also have South High against Highland. I think that's poised to be a great SEYL matchup. South High 4 or 5 years in a row, SEYL champions. Highland is hungry to take that from them. Big game last week, North-South that we were at, and 7 straight years that South has won that rivalry game, and North is hungry to get that sword back. But we've got some big games next week, Mr. Van Horn.
Well, South better bring their A game because they're not the team that they have been the last couple of years, and neither is Highland. So, and Highland's got the upper hand going in it. They've got the momentum. So that's going to be a tough.
We're trying to figure out what's going on right now. There seems to be some confusion on the field. Try to figure out what's going on. It appears that there is an issue maybe with an ambulance that impacts the game. It could be a spectator, it could be someone else, could be a non-football person. We're not going to pan in on that. We're just kind of giving you a little detail of what this could be. Could be something else. But we know that whenever there is a football game going on, there has to be an ambulance ready to go due to concussion protocol, due to different things that are going on there. And it appears that that's what it is, that there's either a spectator or someone that is receiving medical attention. And this is going to cause a decent enough timeout where we got to figure something out. How about this? Let's go ahead and we're going to take a little bit of break right now. We are going to go to our sponsors real quick and see what's going on, and we're going to come right back here live on the Kern High Network.
Every team trains hard. Every team prepares to win. But when U.S. Army soldiers take the field, it's best if the other guys don't bother showing up. See if you have what it takes at goarmy.com/team.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I'm a traditional banker. I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
As a millennial, for me, it's all about the mobile.
And I'm somewhere in between. I still do everything online or through an ATM.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. That's why we're the #1 financial institution in all of Kern County.
Take advantage of our low mortgage rates, including 60-day rate lock and no cost to you. Purchase or refinance your home today.
Kern Schools, together we have something special.
We're learning a lot about how mobile apps are made, the programming and coding that goes into it, along with the time and effort. Along with that is also the entrepreneurship of the class, learning how to run our own business.
We're also learning basic marketing skills, people skills, graphic design, and social media marketing so that they can freelance, they can work on their own, they can apply for a job, they can go to BC or Cal State or any other university who offers programs that are specific within the mobile app development concentration or business concentration.
With my future and career, I do plan on being somewhat of an entrepreneur, owning my own business, sort of a clothing brand line. And so this will definitely help me out with possibly an app for my company, and the entrepreneur part helping me be able to run my business as smoothly as I can make it go.
We're learning the different roles, what a game designer is, what they do, and how video games are made, and how to deconstruct them.
We're also going to be teaching the hard skills, which includes learning the Unreal Engine. And what the Unreal Engine is it's a game development tool that students will be able to use to make their very own video games. And this is something that actually industry professionals use every day to make some of the top-selling games. They're all the same size. You're all on the same plane. There's no undulating terrain or anything like that.
Our instructor, he's really amazing. He encourages everybody. He's really fun, and he makes learning fun.
So they've got top-of-the-line computers here, and they're set up to excel. I would be surprised if other students their age coming out of high school would have anywhere near the level of expertise that these guys are going to have.
This is where we're going to train the kids to actually get jobs in the industry. We're going to give them the basic tools that they need, also the skills that they need to understand where they fit into the industry.
All the animated things, because we have everything that we need in the scenes.
They are learning the principles of animation, Photoshop. They're learning how to animate in 2D and 3D. And when you swap to that shape, then you're just going to drag these over here.
The storyboard aspect of creating basically the skeleton of the story, and then just sort of directing people in my vision of what I want in the story. And it's also giving me the advantage of Mr. Plord, since he's worked at so many companies, being able to put it in my resume and be like, this is the art direction I've received.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Kyle Wiley of the Kern High Network. If you're looking on the field and you see nothing going on and teams huddling up and stretching out, that's accurate. There is a spectator that needed medical attention, and we may not know the specifics of that. I'll try and hunt down, but it appears that someone is requiring some sort of medical attention. And when the ambulance has to respond to that, of course they got to do that because a life is more important than any football game that we'll ever coach. But by law, by our requirement, high school football has to have an ambulance on site with having the attention towards the football game. So we got to wait till someone else comes in and relieves them of that or not. Nonetheless, that's what's going on right now. Right now, it is BHS up on Frontier 26-14 with 4 minutes and 21 seconds left in the fourth quarter. I'm going to try and give you some scores right now so you can see what's going on. Jalen Smith passes a TD. Keeps this game just barely alive. Liberty's up 33-22. Kind of going on there. 52-yard fumble recovery for Garces. 2-point conversion. It appears that, and this says this, Garces is up 38-21. We'll have to take a look and confirm that, but what a change of events that has been. Real quick for them to look at that. Actually, it's going to be 28-21 is what they lead right now. So 28-21 is Garces over Centennial as time ticks away on that as well. Crazy, crazy game. It seems like that's happening over there. Centennial gets the fumble recovery, and then all of a sudden Garces goes back on top. What a game so far to look at.
Well, Garces has figured some things out. You know, they started 0-5.
But some of their 0-5, they're playing like, I mean, they lost it to Hatchby in overtime, which I think shocked a lot of people to go on there and maybe put them on the back burner. But you play St. John's Bosco, who plays Modern Day tonight, 1 versus 5. And I'm not talking 1 versus 5 in the southern section or the area. I'm not talking 1 versus 5 in Southern California. I'm not talking 1 versus 5 in the state. I'm talking 1 versus 5 in the nation.
Yeah.
Those games going on right now. Also another big one, Orange Lutheran and J. Sarah down in Orange County. Another huge games that are going on, kind of nationally ranked teams where, you know, we have a number of D1 talented guys. We see Carl Jones out there as a potential D1 guy that could maybe do something at the next level. See a number of guys, but when St. John's Bosco, you got probably 10, 11 guys that are going to be playing at the next level. And I think with those schools that we see down in the LA area, it's usually up front is where we see the biggest difference from, you know, public schools and things like that, is those, what they're able to bring up front and all that stuff too as well.
Yeah, and they have a definite advantage with some of the private schools down there that are able to have a little bit bigger boundaries than the normal public schools.
30-7, 2 minutes, 48 seconds left. And it looks like they are going to be taking this spectator. So with that, we're going to go ahead and we're going to take a break. We're just going to leave the screen kind of frozen on here as well. We'll try and get back with some scores in a little bit, but nonetheless, we're on a break right now. Just want to let you know that Mater Dei is up 31-21 over St. John Bosco going into the third quarter. 31-21 West is losing to Ridgeview 48-34. So definitely some games that are going on right now as well. We're going to go ahead and pull away for a little bit. Enjoy the rest of your evening. We'll give you updated scores as they come on. So we have some scores coming in. This is Kyle Wiley of the Kern High Network. I think the ambulance is coming in. The replacement ambulance is making its way in, so we're going to get started shortly. But just some scores coming in. Our other Kern High Network game of the week, Garces 28, Centennial 21. What a big game that was. Seemed like there was a costly turnover there at the very end. We also have Tehachapi 28, East 7, and it appears that the Drillers are going to run it out and win 26-14 over Frontier. The Wolfpack have a commanding lead, 48-34, and that's going to continue to go on. BCHS up big, 42-9. That's going on right there. Definitely some interesting games that are going on as we go through here. Once again, the Garces, are they for real? You know, we got to look at that as we kind of go through there. Looking at Steve Fryer's Twitter account of the Orange County Register, we always got to see what's going on, but it's Mater Dei up 31-21 over St. John's Bosco, those nationally ranked teams to look at it that way. Very interesting matchups that are going to be coming up next week. Drillers get the bounce back win over a tough Frontier team, and Frontier has been a pleasant surprise. Talk with people over there, it's like, you know, I've heard this, we'd be lucky if we win 1 or 2 games and they start out 5-0, and they've kind of got back to reality maybe a little bit as they played both a tough Liberty team as well as a tough BHS team.
Yeah, they had compared to some of the schools in town, they had a patty cake preseason.
Yeah.
And now they're, like you said, getting a touch of reality now. And
well, you know, we look at, you know, some of those patty cake, you know, if you want to call it, to look at it. I mean, Ridgeview is always tough, and Ridgeview may be down a little bit, but that was a good opening game with all the dynamics of Chris Bandy in the mix right there and stuff too as well. So just very curious to see where we kind of move forward with this season. You know, Garces has definitely, I think, surprised a lot of teams and have shaken things up a little bit. See how Garces does against the likes of Liberty and things like that as well. Ambulance is just coming on right now. It's going to be confirmation. We're going to be getting started here shortly.
Well, it seems like if you West High, who played Stockdale tough that first half, played Ridgeview tough the first half, and it's kind of, they can put a whole game together. They might not be bad. They've got this kid, Dante Mason, who is, I just keep hearing about him. We haven't seen him play, but.
Well, that actual game, I think we're at a different game that night. No, that was actually the same night as the Driller opening night at Griffith Field. That was one of our Kern High Network games of the week. Dante Mason's pretty good. They got a sophomore Samoan running back to look at that's pretty good too as well. Mr. Van Horn, you're going to have to take over right now. I'm going to get on the camera. We're going to find our camera guy, so you're going to do play-by-play.
Golden Valley, after this, must have been about a 20-minute break waiting for an ambulance, takes over. Now has a 3rd and a long 7 coming out. We've got 2:25 left in this third quarter. Independence up 30-7, a commanding lead. Golden Valley took the opening drive of the second half and marched it right down and got their first score of the game. We thought that they would get things going here, but they bogged down the last 2 series. Jones in the pistol. Drops back to pass. Out here to Lopez, overthrows him. That's going to bring up a 4th down. And it looks like Golden Valley will punt the ball away. Ball was intended for Victor Lopez, who's had 2 nice catches in this game for big yardage. They haven't got the ball to him, Kyle, in this second half, have they?
They haven't got to him yet, but I'm sure they'll find a way to get it back to him. Julian, glad to have you back, man. I'm a man of many talents. Get it on there. Don't worry about it. I've learned so much on this job. Cameraman is my new thing to go on there. We got it on there, but it's all good. All right, here we go, and the ball is off. Gets a favorable Golden Valley bounce all the way down to about the 35, 36-yard line. 1:48 left in the third quarter. For those of you joining us, yes, I did say that right. It is 10 o'clock, and I just said 1:48 left in the third quarter. We had an extended time as we had to exchange ambulances. There was a spectator that was in line at one of the vendors here at Golden Valley that needed medical attention, had to be taken away on an ambulance, and by law and by rule, high school football games have to have an ambulance, so we had to wait for the second one to come. Sergio Borelli is the quarterback in the second half for the Independence Falcons. He is in the pistol formation right now with Dinwiddie behind him and Duluth on the right wing that's coming out there right there, and it is a little play action. And actually, it's going to be Wyrick out of the backfield, and he is rumbling, bumbling, stumbling. Could be an Independence first down, and he still did not go down on that play. Very tough run, very good catch right there. Wyrick is tough. Holy cow, yeah.
Let me tell you, now when we start talking about that Tony's Pizza Player of the Week, Wyrick is right there. Right. You know, you got Henderson.
You know, Wyrick's been that cog for them, keeping things going, and he's done a great job as that tailback position right there.
You know, you have to throw Bravo in the mix for Golden Valley, the tailback that's probably, we talked about it, close to 100, or even, if not over 100.
I would say you got to talk about Duluth a little bit right there. Has had a nice game for the Independence Falcons. Simrel has had a nice game. He's had some long runs. Could have been a unnecessary roughness out of bounds right there. A little extra activity, moves it up for the Falcons. Borelli back in the pistol formation right now. Going to turn and hand it to Duluth, getting to the edge. And, man, he is a lightning bug right there, in and out right here as well. And there goes Duluth right there for a big Independence first down.
Yeah, he's done that a couple times already tonight on that same fly sweep, you know, call it rocket sweep, whatever your terminology is, but been very effective the whole night.
And you know what? I like Duluth right there. I think at the next level, though, he definitely is. He's just a junior. He's got to put some weight on and get a little bit bigger than what he has right there. But that little scat back type thing, he's got the speed to take it to the house right here as well. Borelli gets under center, two receivers to his right. Henderson on the far side. And right there, a little slip screen. Haven't called this name a whole lot. That's number 17. A flag does get called out. Could be a holding sometimes on the edge right there. But that's number 17, Deontay Brown. Called him a few times to look at it. And it appears the penalty is going to be on the Independence Falcons. I like seeing a center take control of his huddle. That's Mr. Henderson right there. We've called his names a few times. He's played good defense and he's played good offense. Got to give those guys up front some love. Maybe they all get Tony's Pizza up front. You know what I mean? They've had a good game running. And, you know, Coach LaRosa says those guys are first in everything. That's where we start everything out right here. So, nonetheless, you got Duluth and Henderson on the far side of the field in twins formation. Carl Jones in the center for Golden Valley at safety. Borelli back in the pistol. Wyrick right behind him. And they're going to be looking to pass. Going to be faking, and I could tell it was kind of a slip screen and go. Kind of fake the outside slip screen, and then you have Duluth releasing on that vertical release right there.
You had him open for a split second, but pressure by Golden Valley flushed him out of the pocket, so he's unable to throw.
20 seconds and counting. It looks like it's going to be the final play of the third quarter. And at 10:05 p.m., yes, we're pulling a late one here tonight at Golden Valley at Bulldog Field. It looks like the Falcons are going to take this all the way down, and it's going to be 30-7. Independence taking it to the end of the third quarter. A lot of interesting games tonight that we wanted to find out locally what's going on BCHS all over Shafter. Liberty 33-22 over Stockdale. Garces 28-21 over Centennial. BHS 26-14 over Frontier. Tehachapi 28-7 over East. Ridgeview 48-34 over West. A lot of games going on there. Pierce South and may have pulled away as well. So let me give you a South. They pulled away. Just seeing that. South 34-0 over Miramonte. A lot happening in Kern County. See this dynamic as we start to shake up. Kern 9 Network. I'd like to thank our sponsors, the U.S. Army, Kern Schools Federal Credit Union. Done a lot for us to help us out. This next week we have, like I said, Centennial going to go to Griffith Field. BHS is excited to be playing home games instead of being on the bus. Highland South. Sergio Borelli in the pistol right now. And it goes off to Duluth over the top, but there is your boy right there, Big Tank. We haven't called his name a whole lot tonight. That's number 48 for the Golden Valley Bulldogs. That's Roberto Enriquez. They call him Tank around these parts, but he made a nice play. Stop. Third and forever and a day for Independence Falcons. As the clock continues to tick.
It's about a 3rd and 35 here. That's about the longest third down we've had so far tonight.
Hey, we had about a 3rd and 33, and Victor Lopez caught a play in traffic earlier for the Golden Valley. Borelli with the pass right here. Very, very dangerous pass. I'm not a fan of the left to right out patterns when you go left hash mark to the right hash mark, especially for high school quarterbacks. Let me say this, especially high school quarterbacks that aren't named JT Daniels in modern day, that aren't 6'4", 220 pounds, that have laser rocket arms. About high percentage throws right here to go on there. Looks like it's going to be 4th down and long. And nonetheless, I mean, why not go for it right now if you're Independence? This is like a punt because it's on Golden Valley's side of the ball. Golden Valley's just looking for a stop and an opportunity to get a quick score right after this. Borelli in the pistol, dropping back, throwing the ball up deep, and almost completed. Could have been a touchdown. And that was going to Brown, Mr. Brown right there. But Golden Valley's going to take over on downs now. So it's 30-7. Game seems out of reach. Still a 3-possession game. Still maybe an opportunity for Golden Valley if they get a quick strike right here. Never want to count teams out till it's 4 possession. That's my rule, and I'm sticking to it, whether you agree with it or not. I mean, it's still my rule to look at. There's still a number of factors that can happen in 11 minutes. We've seen crazier things happen in 11 minutes. That's probably the last game that's still going on in Kern County. Hopefully there's some exciting things that are still going to happen. Carl Jones in the pistol. Simrel off to the right in a wing. Bravo behind him. Handoff is to Bravo. And Bravo is immediately met by number 62, Jose Campos. And he is brought down for almost no game. 2nd down, 10 to go.
Well, what worked for Golden Valley in that 3rd quarter with that little counter.
Yeah.
You know, counter tray and a couple times and the Sally trap a couple times, you know. I think Independence has got wise. You dipped into the well one too many times maybe for Golden Valley.
And unfortunately, Golden Valley too little too late. They have to stretch the field a little bit. Carl Jones, 2nd down and 10 in the pistol formation, dropping back. Delivers a nice throw. Victor Lopez, the man of the hour. And he's got to be closing in on 100 yards receiving. He's had a pretty good game. Maybe he's at that 70, 80-yard marker right there as well. But he's had a nice game. 3rd and 6. Saw your man Tank out there running a little route from the tight end position. We talked about this earlier in the broadcast. He started out as kind of a fullback type, but he has since moved to the tight end to give some more protection for Carl Jones. Carl Jones back in the pistol formation, got 2 receivers to the near side. He's looking for something that's going on, but he is met by a slew of Independence Falcons. Carl Jones looks to be down right now, and hopefully he can get back up. Last thing Golden Valley wants is their star player getting hurt. It's going to be 4th and 11 right now, and I believe that was Mr. Henderson, Lance Henderson, in on the play. He's been playing both ways tonight at both center and at that nose, and he's had a great game. I mean, you talk about relentless up front, pressure all night on Carl Jones. Just saying, those guys up front sometimes don't get the love that they should get, and they like to eat pizza. I know they do, Mr. Van Horn.
Yes, they do. I'm sure.
All right, here we go. Victor Lopez with the punt.
Victor Lopez with the bounces tonight. Every punt he's had, not the greatest punts, but he's getting great rolls. So I guarantee his average is close to 40 a punt tonight.
His hang time not the greatest, but his bounce time is phenomenal.
Yeah.
What's going on, as you said right there. Independence will pick up on the 25-yard line. We have 8 minutes and 54 seconds left in this SYL matchup. Mr. Van Horn so eloquently broke down Division III. You were talking about that earlier. Independence Falcons definitely are a team that could be a thorn in the side. And I think they went to Larry Western back after getting blanked pretty heavily against them. They wanted their opportunity. Sergio Borelli, first down for the Falcons at the 25 in the pistol, hands it off to Duluth in a play that they've run kind of a buck sweep action with that fly sweep to go on there. Maybe no gain, maybe a yard. We're going to call it 2nd down and long as Borelli hustles over to Coach Lucero to get another play in there.
Well, either way, we're going to be well represented in that Division III playoff race with Bakersfield Christian in town. You've got Independence, and you've got Highland, who may be the sleeper of that whole group.
Yep. Borelli in the pistol formation. 2-by-1. Has Wyrick behind him. He's played a very tough game. Quick little screen pass that gets out there, and here's some speed that's getting out here. And I didn't catch a number right there. Is it Mr. Brown? Trying to see what's going on there. Is that number?
No, we've got number 9. Number 9.
Number 9. We haven't called his name a whole lot, maybe on defense, but that's David Hernandez with the big pickup on the quick screen pass right there. And Coach Lucero is utilizing some plays that we may not have seen, some little quick screen, quick hitches to get the ball in his player's hands. It's almost like it's an outside sweep almost, but nonetheless, Independence Falcons with 8 minutes left in the game, still kind of throwing the ball a little bit. Borelli in the pistol. Handoff is to Duluth on that fly sweep that you talked about. You call it jet, you call it whatever you want. Get about a 5-yard game. 2nd and 5, Independence Falcons.
Well, one of the things Coach Lucero wants to do is you got Hernandez involved there. Is show how many weapons you got. Yeah. Show make those teams down the line have to respect everybody on that field.
Yeah, and it always helps if you have more people out there, because what if Henderson gets hurt? What if someone else, and he's got to be the next guy up. So these are valuable reps. Here's Wyrick right here. He's run hard all night and has done a great job. Hopefully he stays in bounds. Keep this clock going on there. We're going to wait for the measurement. Nonetheless, the clock stops if it's a first down, and they're trying to see, and they are going to call first down. 7 minutes, 8 seconds left in the fourth quarter at Bulldog Field, Golden Valley High School.
Wyrick with the tough first down. I mean, that was that's one you trade the headache for the first down.
I think we're kind of indicating that maybe the Tony's Pizza player of the game is kind of like the Gruden grinder, not the flash that goes in there, but what John Gruden calls that Gruden grinder. And Wyrick definitely has been that guy who's running tough. And right on cue, as we say it right here, Wyrick is running the ball hard, nonstop. Gets another first down, consecutive first downs for Wyrick.
Got a Golden Valley player tapping out here. Looks like the right corner.
That's Hodges right
Number
there.
28 Preston, not Preston.
Not Preston Hodges on there, but we got number 28. That's Adrian Hodges coming off right now. Victor Lopez checking in for him.
It's not Preston Hodges. It's not Bryson Hodges, if you remember those names.
Yeah, Bryson Hodges, GV legend out here. Borelli in the pistol formation right now. First down, Independence Falcons. A lot of misdirection going on right there. But once again, still running, still keeping them chopping that we see. And I believe mixing it up is Dinweed getting in there. Dinweed with the first down. So the combination of Dinweed and Wyrick have really offered some very, very solid running for the Independence Falcons.
Well, very first game of the year against North High, Independence was having a little trouble getting that run game going. But now in game 6 here, or game 7, excuse me, looks like they've got it dialed in.
And they got that formula. It's you go with Dinweed, you go with Wyrick, kind of smashing it in there. You got Duluth coming around the edges. And then you got take your shots right here with Mr. Number 11. You got a lot, Mr. Henderson right there. You got a lot of options, a lot of weapons. So it's always nice to have 2 running backs, give these guys a breather every now and again. And it seems these days you have to have 2 or 3 running backs constantly going, and they're all major contributors. Here we go, 2nd and 9. Borelli to Dinweed again. Maybe gets a yard or 2. Probably going to set up 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7. Five minutes and ticking.
Independence in no hurry here. Their best friend is that clock. They want to be able to get out of here with a nice victory, no injuries, and gear up for next week.
Golden Valley, they're just trying to find that energy, but there just isn't a whole lot of energy on the sideline wherever they're at. Quick little slip screen to Henderson.
Well, the one thing we talked about early on, we talked about body language, but, one thing I'm impressed with the second half is Golden Valley never hung their heads.
Yeah.
They kind of
absolutely
shook it off. They got back up on their feet and put a good second half together.
And if you look at the second half, the score is 8-7. And I know you got to look at the whole game, but
right.
I mean, you look at those little things, 8-7, and it was 22-0. I mean, it's just if they could duplicate that. But when your first play of the game is a 90-yard kickoff return, it's quickly deflating. Dinweed right up the gut for the Independence Falcons, fighting for that first down. But it appears that they are short, and it's going to be a turnover on downs, and it's going to be Golden Valley ball. Now, I'm going to say this. We've seen their punting, and it hasn't looked too good for Independence. We haven't seen them kick a PAT at all.
At all.
So their kicking game is very, very suspect for Independence.
And that may not hurt them tonight, but that's something that a phase of the game that's going to come back and haunt them once they get to the better teams in the playoffs with some of these teams, Tulare Western and Bakersfield Christian. And
well, when I was the athletic director at South High School, our football coach had a great relationship with the soccer coach, and there were some very, very key soccer players that came out. Jefferson Escobar is a name that comes to mind. Jones looking to hand the ball off right here and maybe gets about a yard or 2 loss. But I was saying Jefferson Escobar was on 3 Valley Championship soccer teams at South High and a state championship as well. He kicked a 51-yard field goal for the South High Rebels. They were trying to find those guys, those soccer players that had strong legs and made them kickers because they really added something to the component. So I think there's a very valuable relationship between soccer coaches and football coaches. Truly could help each other out, and there was this certain toughness that was developed. Carl Jones hands the ball off, and ball ends up in the hands of Simrel, and it's going to be 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9 for the Golden Valley Bulldogs. So your Independence moving forward from here, and let me go through and make sure I can see. I think I have the schedules for next week that we can look at so we can understand. Let me get my notes out. As Carl Jones gets back under center.
Well, Independence travels to, or has West next week.
Which would be a good game.
Which would be a real good game. Golden Valley has to travel to Tehachapi.
And that's tough. I mean, it's cold right now a little bit, but it's not Tehachapi cold, and it's only getting cooler next time.
Well,
the clock ticks to 2 minutes, and it's 4th and short for Golden Valley. Especially with Golden Valley beating a talented East High team tonight. I mean, it's left to find some answers and all that stuff too as well, but it's definitely going to be a...
Well, Tehachapi beating an East team tonight.
And Tehachapi's beating a Garces team that's on a 2-game streak right now. Carl Jones 4th and short, handing it back on kind of the counter to Simrel. But I'm going to tell you, he is met by number 62 of Independence, and that is Jose Campos with a big play, and that is a turnover on downs.
Campos has had a good second half.
Great game.
Good second half on defense. And
could he be our Gruden Grinder, Tony's Pizza player of the game? I don't know, but there's a lot of them that are out there.
Well, I'm still leaning right now. Wyrick's my number 1 guy, I think.
You know, I like Wyrick. I'm going to tell you, a guy that starts at nose guard and starts at center, Lance Henderson, has played a good game. That's a tough task to have, and especially to anchor that on both sides of the ball. You don't have Wyrick if you don't have a guy up front leading the charge. So 1 minute, 30 seconds left. 1 minute, 34. Borelli, we're seeing going under center this time and handing the ball off to Mr. Van Horn's favored Gruden Grinder, Tony's Pizza player of the game, Mr. Wyrick. And the clock is tick, 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 ticking down. I want to thank the administration at Golden Valley. Paul Hellman, principal, friend of mine, great person. Jerry Antoine, assistant principal of instruction, friend of mine, great person. Erica Pierce, assistant principal of administration, friend of mine, great person. Valerie Black, the activities director, who's done a lot for homecoming tonight. And the guy that's really helped kind of get us up here, take care of us tonight, Robert Haskell, who's the athletic director, a good friend of mine, has done a great job tonight accommodating us. It is going to be Independence that is going to win this game tonight. The score is going to be 30-7, 3rd down and short. It appears that Independence is just going to try and run the ball out and finish this game off. It has been a long game, a little bit over 3 hours as we're getting into this. Don't you love that? We did have a lengthy delay due to a medical attention that needed to a spectator. Looks like it is illegal formation on Independence. 15 seconds as we're winding down. We are going to have a Tony's Pizza player of the game. I think it's safe enough to say that we could venture out into doing that right now. Julian, who do you got as your Tony's Pizza player of the game, our cameraman? We're giving him the headset right now. Who do you like, Julian?
Well, you know, I got your guy that you've been talking about all night that's been going on both sides of the ball. But I really have to say that number 11, Mr. Ramon, set the tone for the game. I do not believe that this score would be as vast as it is, 30-7, without that opening kickoff return. That really has a psychological effect on a team when you get fired up and you start out and then you get hit with something like that right away. So, but I'm going to go with your guy.
Mr. Lance Henderson, is that who you're going with right there?
Go with your
Both
guy.
sides of the ball. Wow. You know, I got to tell you, man, there is a poetic voice to our man Julian. I think he needs to take over on the mic right there. That was impressive. So we got one vote for Lance Henderson. Mr. Van Horn.
I'm going to go with the running back for the Independence Falcons, Mr. Wyrick.
All right. So Independence beats Golden Valley. And I'm tweeting something out right now, so we have a final score on here, and then we're going to give the final vote that we have on there. So you had Mr. Wyrick ran the ball tough, ran the ball hard.
Had a couple, Bravo had a good game.
Bravo had a great game.
For Golden Valley, you had Henderson had 2 touchdowns
right
in the
off the bat.
First quarter.
Right off the bat, set the tone, all right, that goes on there. But you know what? We're going to go against the grain tonight, and maybe have this final vote that goes on here. We have not had an offensive lineman get Tony's Pizza Player of the Game this year. We've had a whole bunch of running backs. We've had all this stuff going on there. But the big guys up front that never get the credit deserve the credit. You have a big grin on your face. I know that you got to have that in there. Wyrick ran the ball tough. But we're going to go ahead and give the Tony's Pizza Player of the Game to number 65, Lance Henderson. He played both sides of the ball, both as center and at nose guard. He played tough all night, made plays in the backfield. He led those holes for Mr. Wyrick because he was running in between the tackles, so he's kind of anchoring that offense. So we're going to go ahead and give that. Is that all right with you, Mr. Van Horn, to get that right there?
It's going to have to be.
It's going to have to be. Two-thirds votes go to Lance Henderson, so there we go. Lance Henderson will be coming out to Independence High School to give you your Tony's Pizza Player of the Game certificate. This has been a fun night. It's been a long night. Independence 30, Golden Valley 7. Both teams moving in opposite directions, but we'll see how they do next week. Next week on the Kern High Network, Mr. Van Horn is going to be at Griffith Field again for his beloved Drillers as they take on the Centennial Golden Hawks. And I will be at South High, going to be taking on the Highland Scots in a big SEYL matchup that possibly could determine who the champion of that league is going to be. For Rick Van Horn, Julian Wilson, Nathan, who helped me out all night, run the production side of things. My name is Kyle Wiley. Thanks for joining us on the Kern High Network. Tune in tomorrow on KernHighNetwork.com. All these games will be archived. Follow us on Twitter at KHSD Athletics to watch all highlights and replays of tonight's game. That's all we have tonight, folks. Have a great night, and see you next week on the Kern High Network.